What are you shaking your head at, Leanne? Never come in your pants?
No, not recently.
Well, wait till you hear this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Bertcast 2, Dave Anthony, Gareth Reynolds, the Dollop in the Mancave.
This is the Bertcast.
Hello? Are you serious?
Yeah, he's so.
Here, grab that. Really?
Yeah. Hilarious.
Everyone talk real quick.
Hi. Yes.
Hello.
Perfect.
Dancing.
I did a podcast with Tom Papa today, and I was like, he was using an H4N to do it, and he didn't have enough mics, so they were going to share one. I go, we'll put in the H6. I just pulled my rig out, and I started rigging his shit, and I think I didn't record audio on one mic. I come in arrogant as fuck. I totally fucked up. And he was like, email that to me when you get a chance. I was like, sure.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Get that right to you.
Yeah, I had
I'm dying. I should point out that I'm actually dying. So
I did one with Segura in the car, and today and yesterday, and I listened to one of the tracks, and I was like, and there was no audio from Segura.
Oh fuck!
And I was like, motherfucker.
Fuck.
And then I went, and I had stopped in the middle of it and started recording again on accident, and then picked up audio from him. I really wish I had someone to. Do you guys do yours by yourself?
Yeah.
Just totally by yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you even put in headsets or anything?
Sometimes at the start,
Yeah.
not as much as I should.
Yeah.
It's I've been promoting your podcast on my podcast.
I know,
the
dude.
last
Thank you.
3
Much
weeks.
appreciated.
I did it again when I posted today. I talked about it.
Thank you.
It was it's such a great podcast.
Oh, thanks,
It
man.
really is. The Rube.
Fuck.
I was like,
I mean, he's my favorite character of all in the history of the world.
he might be the best. I ended up getting into a spiral about him. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
It's
like
crazy.
So wait, real quick. So if anyone doesn't know, what is so the name of your podcast is The Dollop, but the story, and you basically tell a historical fact to Gareth, or a historical story, and then and it's just such a great fucking podcast. But real quick, who is the Rube? If you could pitch it.
Okay, so the Rube was
Ironically,
a guy,
pitch it, David.
Ironically, pitch it. So the Rube was a guy who played baseball around 1900.
Pitcher.
And, he's a pitcher. Maybe the best pitcher at the time, but he pitched against Cy Young. And he was dumb as a fucking box of rocks.
That's an understatement. That's a fucking this is not going to do it justice. You have to listen to this podcast. That is a fucking understatement.
Yeah. Well, not only dumb, but insane.
Like
too.
insanely dumb. And
A great
raging
combination
alcoholic.
always.
Raging alcoholic.
Raging alcoholic.
Obsessed with fire trucks.
Obsessed with fire trucks. Yeah, he would run off the mound and chase them in the middle of games.
If he heard a fire truck, he would leave the mound and chase it.
Yeah.
If you had a Dalmatian on your team.
Yeah.
And if people realized he was stupid, and they would hold up puppies in the stands, and he would run over to them.
Yeah.
It's just he disappears one time, and no one knows where he is, and they find him wrestling alligators in Florida.
Yeah.
By the way, I felt such a connection to this guy. I was like, in the early 19th turn of the century, that could have been me.
Yeah.
Hardcore. To this day, you could almost probably simplify me in terms like that.
Yeah. Van Buren Wilder.
Good God.
Yeah.
It is and the podcast is you for an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes telling the story.
Yeah.
And Gareth hearing it, commenting on it, and you guys.
And I've never heard it. So he just prepares a story, and I don't know what it's going to be.
And we did a thing at All Things Comedy, and I was like, and I noticed your podcast is top 5 podcasts in the world. I think always.
Not now. It was for a little while.
What was that? What was I was like,
we got
Like, I got up there too, and I was like, why? Why did that just happen?
Well, that's what's so strange is like actually knowing the metrics of it is such a bizarre, nebulous thing in a way.
Yeah.
Like, because there's some days where there's, you could brag at any time. Like, I have the #1 podcast today, but like that's, or with albums, people are like, I have the #1 album, but it's like you have, at that moment, you're selling the most, but,
It was very weird. We were the #1 podcast in the country. That was like, of all podcasts, I was like, what's happening?
Well, because then they give you a silver record to put on the wall. Oh, I don't know. God. And it is.
I would love that.
Ties the studio together.
I bet you got a big bump when you went on Rogan.
Yeah, we were.
That was a great episode.
It was the best podcasting.
Well, that podcast is so. It's just so interesting. Like, it's always so interesting.
You know what? If you said to me how many times you've done Rogan, I'd probably say 5. Mm-hmm. It turns out I've done like 20 times.
Really?
I have no recollection of them though, because you go in, Joe, and then like whenever I'm there, Joe's always in like a giddy mood. It's not like scientist mood.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's get high, let's get drunk, let's get fucked up, let's giggle. I mean, we did one that was 5 hours long one day.
Holy shit!
And I didn't piss once, and I didn't. And then when we got done, we were like, "You want to play pool for an hour?" Like, it was.
And you both pissed your pants.
Dude, the ones I did with Segura, those last 2 ones were like probably the best thing I've ever been a part of.
Really?
Well,
because
of the competition. Your competition with him is so engaging.
We had some kid came up to me the other day and he was like, it's really cool that you guys are really friends. I go, we're all friends. Like, we all hang out. Like, everyone knows each other. But he's like, no, I'm like blown away. Is this part of your bit that you guys really friends, or is this
why is it so hard to believe?
I go, that's why podcasting is fucking good, because it's not produced. It's not. Can I tell you a little sidebar to this story?
Yeah.
I first heard of you probably 7 years ago.
We have this weird connection.
I walked into Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And Fred
Graver.
Fred Graver was like, by the way, he starts the conversation off with, we just found the funniest comedians in the business. And I'm like, okay.
Well,
awesome, Fred. Thank you so much.
You're too sweet, Fred. I'm glad you're aboard.
Yeah, really awesome.
See that poster behind you?
And it was Mancations.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that and going, God damn it, that's the show I want to do.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm riding roller coasters.
Well,
it was such a great fucking show.
Yeah. We were caught in a very, that's a show that I did with my buddy Evan Mann, and it was insane to do. Like, as I'm sure you know, like, know, just traveling, like, and doing having these experiences and just sort of getting, like, the cliff notes of it and going and doing all this crazy shit. But we, like, went to space camp. We went to ninja camp. We did a Civil War reenactment. We did this whole season of the show. And then as it would be, and throughout that process, we're being sort of told what you heard about us, about you. It was like, this is the model. Like, we would get, episodes of your show.
You realize they hated my show.
But okay. So we
hated my show.
But your show was on for a while. They loved our show, but then right when we were putting the finishing touches on it, well, what they did was they aired 2 in a night. The night of the NBA playoffs, and they left an hour in between about a sandcastle show. So they aired 2 new episodes.
By the way, I worked with those sandcastle people. Yeah. I had to do an integration with them, and we met the sandcastle people.
The people who make giant sandcastles?
Can I tell you? Yeah. I would argue possibly the most boring thing in the world is watching someone make a sandcastle.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was
that sounds awesome. Just a guy putting sand in his shapes.
Yeah.
How's that not on every channel?
Now that I hear it back,
I'm pitching one about guys who make dirt castles.
Oh yeah, dirt builders.
Yeah,
That's going to be amazing. And I like that it's 2 hours long. I think it has to be.
It's in real time.
It has to be.
It's real time dirt building.
An 18-hour real time marathon of dirt builders.
Let me tell you something. If they didn't incorporate the function of time lapse into
I mean, it's already garbage.
It was such a.
What happens at the end of it?
Well, you see the sandcastle. Come on, it's a reveal.
Yeah, it's hard to do the teaser. Coming up. Well, you're going to see it, obviously.
It was, can I tell you, we did an integration with them where I did one of my shows and I worked with the same, and it was so much fun.
It was.
And I
bet.
was like, this is one of the funnest things I've ever done. They taught us how to make a real sandcastle, and I was like, oh, this is. In my head, I was like, this is functional information. I'm going to blow my kids away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually really fun. But yeah, I remember that
as an experience to watch is.
I remember that time.
There's only so much you can do.
So vividly.
Yeah. Well, then so they did that, and then they were like, we're going to put it back on in the fall. And then the fall
two
came.
episodes, and then how long?
Months.
Months. So 2 episodes, not even back to back. Sandcastle in between.
It's
Sandcastle
like when
sandwich.
Yes.
And then months, and then like,
Months.
let's. You know what? This is so hot that we need to take a break for months.
It's a programming style not enough networks are embracing.
Right.
I'll tell you right now.
Air 2 leaves 6 months. Air none. It's beautiful.
Oh, I've had so many shows on that network. I can up that and say we did one where they aired it, didn't like the number, so they started airing it at 7 a.m. on Saturdays.
Oh my
But mine never aired.
That's the best
They
time
never aired it
slot.
They never fully aired it. They aired those 2, and then the rest never aired.
Well,
so they literally shot a season of the
what?
show, and then they were like, no, it's like a home movie.
What's the fucking point of that? You have it made. Throw it up.
Think of trying to explain this to my English mother. She was like, "What?
Your mom's from England?"
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's just I was like, "But it's not airing." But you've made it. I was like, "Look, Hollywood's got a big dick, and sometimes it puts it in you."
You know what happened? I bet the Sandcastle people complained. I
They
bet
did.
all
They
the
did.
fans of Sandcastling
did.
were like, "What is this shit?"
Don't even get
The
me
Sand
started.
Club.
If that is,
Are there people?
No, but that was a tool in this time in television. That was a tool to get your show back on the air. Is go onto your Facebook page
Yeah.
and start a protest, and there would be
That didn't work.
It didn't happen to my show, but I remember it happened to someone's show,
Right.
where it got canceled.
Not mine.
And then they all fought for it, and they're like, "Fuck it, we'll bring it back."
Oh yeah. Angel had that, or some show like that.
But they-
had
there
that
was
where
one
fans were so rabid. They were at CBS, and CBS was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
All right, just
Well,
shut
you-
It's
up.
hard to park.
I can tell you all the behind the scenes about your show. If you need. Like,
yes,
I know everything.
Yes,
Because I was
lovely.
so at the time, Adam and I had Richmond and I had the 2 highest rated shows on the network.
Yep.
And they were not a fan of mine. And they didn't like my digital footprint. They were like, your digital footprint
What
leaves
the
something to
fuck
be desired.
What is that?
It's when you Google Bert, the first thing that came up was ass wax. Next thing that came up was PCP with Tracy Morgan. Like, it was like just everything that Googled me. So they're like, we need to scrub your digital footprint. So they just pulled me off. And I think, in all honesty, I think Fred and Lorene was the president at the time. Fred had really great intentions of bringing really talented people on the network and making really cool shows. Everyone that Fred brought in, and I can gain nothing from Fred anymore in my life.
Yeah.
He works at Twitter.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. He did not like me.
He can get you a Twitter show.
No, he can definitely get your numbers up on Periscope. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
And so,
Verify me, Fred.
yeah. So, but he had really good intentions, but I think he was taking really big swings at a company that brand-wise wasn't ready to make that kind of stuff. I mean, Steve Ranella and you.
Yeah.
Steve Ranella now is possibly one of the most recognizable hunters in the world. One of Joe Rogan's best friends.
Yeah.
Really?
And it was a really interesting time. But Adam and I had the number 1 shows, and then you guys came out, and I think they were like, comedy doesn't work for our network.
Oh my god.
That really is what I mean. That is basically what it felt like because
Wait, which network is this?
Travel Channel.
I
So
thought-
we'd done it, and then it's almost like it happens all the time. It really happens in marketing here too. When a brand is like, we really want to push the limits, and then by the end of the process, it's as vanilla and bullshit as everything else because they get scared. And that is basically, rather than air it ever, they were like, this is not our brand. And we just,
and they
fell
just
on the
don't air
sword.
it. And
Yeah.
But and I'll say that, and I'm certain this is getting to Travel Channel if we're talking about it. And I will say one of the things that I know it bums them out as well. Oh wow!
Were you recording?
No. Sean Evans from Hot Ones is calling me.
Ooh.
We got gossip.
Hi.
Hello.
Can't take it because I know what he wants to talk about. Have you guys done Hot Ones?
No.
Oh, have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fucking
I haven't
love
seen it.
But one of the things that I think that network does exclusively that I've never been a victim of, but I do think that it would benefit them to air a whole season of stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a reason that they don't.
They don't. They don't do it. They just kill it.
They put it up. If it gets numbers, they stick with it.
Well, that's not how it works, especially now.
Not now,
especially now. But from what I'm hearing is you guys killed comedy on the Travel Channel.
Yes.
Two
I
of you
definitely had a part of that.
I think this might be Spartacus. Yeah.
I definitely am the reason there got more serious programming.
Yeah. But they were also like they're like you're saying like your show and Man vs. Food were like they would succeed and yet they were like it's not us. Like there is that craving to like define yourself with something that you like too.
Yeah.
And it's like just go with what works and take fucking chances.
Yeah, take chances.
It's and I say this. I'll play devil's advocate right now, but like I've taken chances on this podcast, like where I go, this would be a good episode, and it just doesn't pay off because the fans are like, hey man, I don't give a fuck about your wife.
Right.
You talked to your wife and they didn't like it?
No, but I know my downloads, and I know that people just didn't tune in. They're like, no offense,
not
Bert,
what they
but
want
like,
from you.
That's interesting.
Hey, when's Burr coming on?
Yeah.
That's what I like. When's Ari and Steve Renazizi coming on?
Right.
And so but they would just air things, and if it didn't, like the Sklar brothers had a pilot over there, and they aired an episode, and I guess and it just didn't rate. And so, and the other thing is that network really succeeds with, fucking, they've already got stuff in the can of like Andrew Zimmern that rates through the roof every time they put it up.
Yeah.
I mean, Man vs. Food was getting ratings higher than anything.
Yeah, that show was huge.
Yeah.
Adam is just, and some of those guys, sometimes I feel like I'm not set up for that type of television, even though I did it for so long. But like, Adam is such an amazing fucking host. I swear to God right now, I could call him on the phone and go, give me your read for Columbus, and he could rattle it off.
Yeah. He's a classically trained actor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the whole thing that he ended up like eating all the like I forget where he went, but he went to like a prestigious place and
went to Yale.
He went to Yale. And he was like a classically trained actor, and then he was like, look at that meat inside that motherfucker, Yeah. So it's like, yeah. But
and there was, I think he was probably, he might be one of the, like we were talking about this earlier with Maron and Rogan, are two of the smartest people I've ever been around.
Yeah.
They say things very cutting, very, very intelligent, very insightful. Like I always say this about Rogan. Anytime I have a conversation with him, every opinion he has, he's thought about for a day.
yeah.
Like I'm such a fucking dickhead.
Oh, I blurt shit out constantly.
Yeah,
It's my
that is
thing.
very true.
Yeah.
It's like he really he knows everything.
Adam Richman knows something about everything.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
One of those
And
guys.
really,
like,
I mean, we met him briefly, but he was super nice. I mean,
the
just a
sweetest
really,
guy
really
in
nice
the
dude.
fucking world,
Yeah.
like the sweetest guy. But yeah, I was there for that whole thing.
Yeah, it was a dream.
Fred wanted that to succeed so bad. I think he was caught between Laureen and the company.
Yeah.
And the company was like, their whole message with that network's been information. It's so funny as comics, we're like, fuck information, put interesting up there. But as a fan of watching Travel Channel, and I've always been a fan, the information is what drives.
Our show had zero information.
Yeah, like it's this thing about your podcast that is fascinating is like I'm laughing, but when I stop laughing, you come back in with more information. Then another like the information drives your podcast.
Yeah,
and they always wanted that at the network, information first. And I'm not that guy.
The information that's a fucking whole like researching. That's a lot of goddamn work to get like proper information and put it into a story. Like especially for like a 22-minute show. That's tough.
Well, but also on the Dollop, the amount of things you peel out are just insane.
Yeah,
that is true. I
couldn't do your job.
Dave's job is. I mean, when we go on the road, like I'll just come out of my.
What?
You do live shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want are you
I would
around
love
February
to do a live
6th?
show. And I'm the most uninformed person in the
That's
world.
great.
Hey,
Are you
I'll
around-
compete at you on the podcast for
I used
that.
to think Helen Keller and Anne Frank were the same person.
Yeah, if you're around on February 6th, we're doing a
That's
live
a
one.
much different experience for Ann Keller.
What wait, February 6th?
Yeah.
My
shit, I was
eyes
supposed
are
to
going
tickets up for sale today. I forgot.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm around February 6th.
All right.
Wait, I have what time?
9.
Yeah, I'm around.
Boom.
Okay.
Let's do it.
In. Done.
So wait, how did you guys meet? Just clubs?
Okay, so he used to do a podcast with Sam Tripoli.
I was on Tripoli's podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like the third wheel.
The naughty show.
Second wheel? You third
I joined
wheel?
it late. Like I was definitely like the third. Yeah.
Yeah.
The third or second
Fourth wheel?
spare tire. I don't know. What's the automobile? The hell kind of vehicle are we talking about?
The third wheel.
The third wheel? I'm what? One of those weird motorbikes with
Yeah,
three
it's a weird-
wheels?
yeah,
Okay,
weird
I'm that.
motorbike.
I'm the back one.
All right.
I'm near the other sidecar. But yeah, we met there, and then
I would go on there and just to bust Sam's balls. Like, I would just sit there and make fun of the podcast while I was on it, because he always had like fucking strippers on and shit, and I'd be like, it's a podcast, why am I looking at this girl's asshole right now?
Because Tripoli's
Literally.
fucking brains in the gutter constantly.
Literally, I'm looking at a girl's asshole, like she's bent over, spreading her ass, and I'm like,
Well,
it's a podcast.
Like what I love about Sam Tripoli, and I really genuinely love the dude, is that he is unapologetic for what he wants, and his show was what he wanted.
Yeah.
It was what he was into, and I enjoyed sitting there watching Sam experience, what he thrived.
I still think Sam and Big J. Okerson should tour together. They
totally.
Because they're the
Yeah.
same. Very
Destroyers.
different acts.
Yeah.
Very different acts. Same demographic.
Yeah.
Totally.
But Sam Tripoli, little sidebar to this, I move out to L.A. I want to talk about New York, but I move out to L.A. I do the first thing I do is National Lampoon's Funny People. It's Frank Caliendo's hosting it. It's when he was on Hype. No, maybe he was on Mad TV.
Okay.
No, he might have been on Hype. Do you remember Hype?
No.
Do you remember Chicken?
No.
Chicken? Wait, the comic Chicken?
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who is Chicken?
Who was Chicken?
Chicken.
Chicken
might be-
came. Let's just say Chicken came out from out of nowhere.
Okay.
By the way,
So did the egg.
if
Which
Comedy
came first?
Central, if Comedy Central did a documentary about this guy,
Oh my God.
I would
we could
literally
do a dollop
be
about him.
so
The hell?
You should.
Well, now I can't know about Chicken.
But I'll tell you,
Okay,
he
Cliff noted.
just it was when Montreal, when you could go up there and
This is
get
1998.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could go up to Montreal and just land a fucking huge deal and
New
you know,
faces.
your whole
Right.
your life was changed. So
The
he
story
goes up
is
there.
now. I want to dollop this with him.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
this is a time when Mitch Hedberg did a New Faces show, destroyed, got offered like a 6-figure deal, like $800,000, and Dave Becky grabbed him, put him on a plane, and flew him home, and said, "No, don't speak to anyone ever again."
Right.
And Mitch is like, "What?" And he's like, "The only thing you can do is fuck this up. Leave."
Yeah.
And this is a different fucking day.
Right.
This is when Dave Becky got Sue Costello a fucking deal off of a 5-minute tape,
Wow.
fucking VHS.
Hold on, I got
Sent
a
that
deal.
shit.
I got a deal. That picture that we were just talking about,
Yeah.
with Louis Schafer.
Yeah.
I was working the door at the Boston Comedy Club. Time Out New York wrote an article about me because I was just letting in college kids to drink for free at the Boston Comedy Club.
Right. Sure.
I was work the door. David Tochterman came out and saw me do stand-up. He was working for Will Smith. I was at the door. All I had was 7 fucking minutes, and I got a 6-figure deal working the door. Working the fucking door.
Holy shit.
I mean, this does not exist.
No.
And
Hey, I'm not working the door tonight anymore.
you know what's crazy?
I'm good on the door.
Barry Katz made me keep working the door. Of
course he did.
Because he was
Jesus, that
because he was like,
fucking
guy.
I think
Finish.
it's good for the story.
No, you're the door
keep
guy.
going.
You're the
Good for
door
story.
guy.
And then he just
Bring a
loves
door
saying-
on stage.
He just loves saying, I got so much stuff going on. My door guy's got a deal.
See, from his end, it makes sense that he's
Yeah.
like, don't stop working the door, Bert.
I got 6 figures in the
6
bank,
fig-
and I'm still doing $25 a night and bringing in 20 people so I can get my spot. Hey, how about give me a spot? That flyer is blown up. I used to have to hand that out. I used to have to hand that out. I had stacks of them, and I had to hand them out everywhere. And Louis Schafer was on the center. But to go back to Chicken, so that is the time, Montreal. So Frank Caliendo gets a deal
Yep.
from a tape he had. In a tape, he just did like John Madden, Chris Farley, and Kramer. He gets a 6-figure deal from the WB.
Right.
Do you
Chicken.
remember George Gallo?
No.
He's this kid. He just did crazy noises. Like it was like watching the Tasmanian devil try to talk. and he got like a 6-figure deal, and I was like, what in the fuck is happening? How come I'm not getting a deal? Well, you're too angry. Fuck off.
Have you tried making noises? maybe make a fax machine noise and see what happens. No, I don't like it.
And then Chicken goes to Montreal.
Yeah.
Chicken was,
and then Chicken goes to Montreal.
his name was Chicken.
His name was
Just Chicken.
His real name is Michael Roof.
Okay.
By the way, I'm obsessed with this guy.
Okay.
Like, I'm being serious. There is a part of my id, whatever, I don't even know if that's the right thing that I just said.
Sure.
But there's a part of me that is connected to this guy for the rest of my fucking life.
Well, he
Okay.
He hit so hard that it was like, even with all these deals.
What was his thing?
I mean, he fucked a stool to.
By the way, that is a compliment about his act. I'm not trying to be shitty. That is a compliment. Like,
So wait, chicken fuck stools.
To music, right? Was it to music? He fucked to
Now, was there
Beethoven?
setup?
no. It was to the music from Titanic.
Right. Oh my God, this plot is
He would play
thick.
Titanic and fuck a stool and then lean on it. Like, and by the way, I am telling you when I say this, it may sound like we're shitting on him. I have a sincere connection to this human being. We're just being honest.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
would pose like Leonardo DiCaprio on Titanic.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there was nothing really of substance to his act.
No.
I think he could
almost
be
the opposite of substance. Like, there was nothing.
And was there setup to stool Titanic bangs?
Like, I don't remember.
I doubt it.
I don't think
wanna
there
say,
was.
Like, he was
Okay.
it was very high energy.
Okay.
So it was a lot of like.
Crazy high energy.
Okay.
Like,
He's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
He's young.
Yeah.
Full head of hair. Kind of like a not I wouldn't say like ripped, but doughy ripped. You know,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
and just super high energy. I watched him at the Laugh Factory one night with Reno Collier. And Reno Collier and him are really good friends.
Yeah.
And everyone came out to watch him. And I sat in the back, and the place went fucking bananas.
Yeah.
And I sat in the back, and I was like,
what is happening?
I was like, I'm blown away. Like, I cannot figure out why this is working.
Right.
So he gets
Oh,
like
you would watch it and you'd be like, I don't know what's happening, but the audience is going
just
batshit
murder.
crazy.
the audience loved it.
And you have no idea. You're like, what is going on right now?
Right.
Is there a puzzle I don't understand?
Did Chicken pay you?
And then him and Frank had both deals at WB, and it turned into
His deal was Chicken's
deal
deal
was like
huge,
massive.
like the biggest deal
I
ever
wanna
out
say
of Montreal.
$900,000 or something.
It was crazy.
Just under $1 million. Maybe it was $1 million. It might have been $1 million
I think
deal.
it might have been.
Wow.
Like,
It was
so much so that
nuts.
he took care of his family with it. Like he lived in
Spiced up the coop,
North
got
Carolina,
the nice
right?
feed.
No, grew up in Florida.
Florida.
In I wish I could remember the name, but it was right outside Tampa, right outside Orlando, like one of those weird towns.
Sure, like a carny town.
Yeah, like Brevard or
Right.
Like yeah.
Right, yeah.
Where Lobster Boy lives, like
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did an episode on Lobster Boy.
Yeah. Oh. That's my neck of the woods.
So,
We used to drive through that town.
oh
Fuck,
man.
really?
He beat up his wife.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he did a
it's
lot
just-
of shit. He's
That
a
guy's
bad
fascinating.
man.
Oh, the story of Lobster Boy.
So he comes out to New York. He gets Hype. Hype is the show. It's a sketch show. It's going to compete with Mad TV.
Yeah, because they were supposed to do a show based on him, but then the more they got into it, they're like, "Oh fuck, he can't.
We can't get the Titanic song.
He can't be the focus."
can't get the Titanic
It turns
song.
out he just fucked stools. There's actually not a lot there, so they couldn't.
The
they
network
realized,
was like,
we-
what if it's a chair? And he's like, I can't work like this with all these notes. You're ruining the vision of Chicken.
This is going to get sad in a second. So,
Oh, no. Okay. Okay, I'm
So,
sorry.
so they ended up doing an ensemble with Chicken in it. So it's a sketch show called Hype.
Okay.
and he's like
It was-
one of six or whatever.
I think Caliendo would even say Hype was a rough, tough show to sit through.
Okay.
Wasn't the best sketch show.
Yeah.
I think it got canceled after like 6 episodes. or
real
something.
quick, yeah.
And then
4
Frank
to
moves
6.
over to Mad TV, and Chicken ends up booking Black Hawk Down.
Oh, okay.
He ends up booking Triple X
Okay.
with Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the sidekick. He ends up doing a show on Spike called Raising the Roofs, where his family, who's all very redneck, moves out to L.A.
Okay.
And he does stuff like go to red carpet events with his uncle and his dad.
And a stool.
And they're,
Right.
and they're big drinkers.
Right.
And then Chicken decides to start doing the road again.
Yeah.
But I don't think he ever
did the road.
I don't think he ever did the road, and I don't think he ever had the chops for the road, and I don't think he ever had the passion. obviously for comedy the way that maybe someone else would have.
Yeah.
Right.
But someone was probably like, hey, you can make a lot of money on the road.
Yeah.
Get out there.
And then he killed himself.
And he killed himself.
Shit.
Yeah, that's why we said it would get sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He killed himself.
Because the road is not cool.
Wow.
The road's a bummer.
The road really sucks.
No, it does, but that's still like...
It really... Like,
how long... How? I mean, it was just the grind of that just got to him.
The whole thing was... His whole fucking journey was pretty quick, man.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
It wasn't.
4 years, maybe?
You know, and at that time, I think a lot of us... You know, the business changed so drastically from when I got my first deal to, like, when I got to Travel Channel that I was lost. Like, everyone was lost at that time. And I think Chicken just didn't have like a foundation.
Yeah.
You know, Patrice O'Neill said to me one time, he's like, when I got my second deal, I got a deal right after that again with CBS. And Patrice goes, I feel sad for you. And I was like, what? And I was like, only fucking Patrice could take a congratulatory moment and fuck you up with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got no foundation. He's like, you don't know comedy. You don't know the road. You don't have any way to make money other than television. And he's like, I can't make a ton of money, but I can definitely support myself in doing comedy. He's like, you should focus on getting to that place so that when they knock you off the tower, you don't fall that far.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember thinking like, yeah, that would be cool. And then when all my TV shows went away, I definitely was like, oh fuck, I got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And I think Chicken didn't have that opportunity. And when he got on the road, it was like, what?
Right.
He's the best example of when you hit young and you're not ready. It's fucking brutal,
dude. That is the greatest fucking statement of like being ready. There's no better feeling than to get a call, go, hey, we want you to do April Foolishness or whatever, and then going, I could do that easily. Like I've done 2 specials. I have like, as opposed to being like 23 and being like, fuck.
I didn't get shit until Marin. Way fucking late in life. I had nothing. Like, I'm almost 50.
You are not.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You do not look 50.
Hey, baby.
Don't wink at him, Dave.
That's what happens.
Your
when
baby's
you say,
over here.
If you say,
Your baby's over here.
You don't look 50,
Your
there's a
baby's-
sexual thing happening.
No!
There's
He's
fucking
being
something
nice.
sexy
Wait, how old
going
are you?
on.
How old are you?
37.
Oh, I fucking pay money to be 37 again.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
I can
was
make a
37,
deal.
I could fucking run this business.
Really?
Dude, with what I know now,
Yeah.
I mean, 37, I was so lost.
Oh, I was a fucking mess at 37. I had no idea what was going on
I
at
had
that
no
point.
concept.
But doesn't that happen every, like, don't you always think that? That's what's such a fucker about, like, aging, is that you always look back 5 years ago and you think, I thought I was old then, now I'm old, and I wasn't then, and then in 5 more years you go.
No, because
Does
when
that
you
stop?
get into your 40s,
Okay,
it
that
stops
stops.
because you really start to realize what you can build on, and then it's leading somewhere, and then you're putting bricks in a place, and you're creating something.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that when I was in my 30s.
When I was 37,
I was still trying to grab shit and make shit fucking happen.
at 37, I was like, I need to be on TV.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, I need to be on TV. Like a fucking idiot. I should have just been like I look at you right now, like I know for a fact that you will no doubt be one of the most successcal people I know.
Oh, Bert.
Because you're 37, dude. I'm 44. We're at the exact same place in our life. I'm 44, and I go. It's just like I feel like I know you probably feel like this too. I know Marin feels like this probably, but like I go, how much more time are people interested in me?
Oh, totally.
God, like at what point do I become at what point am I the depressing guy at the
Yeah.
fraternity house
Yeah.
doing the show where they're like, hey man, have you taken your blood pressure medicine? Like,
I think so. I don't remember.
God.
Doing the same bits back to back. Oh, God.
Oh my!
You take off
I've done that a lot.
Then you take off your shirt, and just a girl in the front row just like silently starts crying.
Oh, I had this moment where I did the goddamn comedy jam.
Yeah.
And I was in a band with a guitarist, kicked him out. He formed the band Creed.
Yeah.
And then Scott Stapp sang with me. Now, by the way,
Okay.
He comes up. It's a spoiler alert. I shouldn't be talking about it, but
You
I
love-
don't give a fuck.
There we
You love
go.
Creed. We get it.
And so
It's your band.
Scott Stapp's like, hey man, you should maybe I'll sing like the first chunk and then you'll come in after that, because I was supposed to lead it off. And he's
Right.
like, I think artistically it's probably better if I start it off and then you come in. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
So he sings it, destroys his
Yeah.
first
Of course
chunk.
he does.
I come in
Oh God.
No.
and I start my lyric,
Yeah.
and I hear a girl in the front row go, "Ooh," audibly go, "Ooh." Wow. It was so
It's tough to
bad.
It's tough to maintain the course mentally and not be at all like, all right, because even as a comic, you're vulnerable when you're singing.
Dude, I'm
you feel like if a
showing you
joke
all my
goes
cards.
shitty,
You're so much more vulnerable
yeah,
if
it's
you're
like
singing.
it's like you're exposing yourself into here.
Oh, and I was like, oh, that's why Scott wanted to start it off, because he's like, don't fuck my song up totally. Like, let's start somewhere and then get to where we are.
But if he, so no one knew. So if he'd come out second, would no one have known that he was going to come out?
No, so I mean, total spoiler alert. The whole point of this thing was that, I mean, technically, Mark Tremonti doesn't remember me at all. He has no recollection of me.
Yeah.
So I brought out my guitarist from our band that we were in college from Orlando, John Dacre, and he comes out. And I go, I'm putting my band back together. This is my guitarist. And then I bring in another guitarist, which happens to be Scott Stapp's guitarist. They don't know that, but he played with Guns N' Roses. He comes out. And then I go, the whole point of my speech is that I was a front man. I wasn't a lead singer. I was a front man. Very different.
Yeah.
Energy. Sexuality.
Yeah.
And I was like,
X Factor.
Yeah, X Factor.
Yeah.
X Factor.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking wish I had you writing for this. X Factor. It's the X Factor.
Yeah.
And I go, what this band could really use is a lead singer, someone who can remember the lyrics, who doesn't lose their voice.
Right.
And I bring out Scott Stapp, and then I go, we're singing the greatest rock anthem of my generation, Higher, and we start singing it, and I'll be really honest, man. Not only will I say this, Scott Stapp forever will go down in my book as the coolest rock star I've ever met, but I was moved to
Really?
to tears. I'll start crying if I talk about it now. It was such a great fucking moment to sing that song with him in my life that I've said, my daughters came to see it, and I said, girls, you just witnessed my favorite thing I've ever done on stage.
Yeah.
It was so fucking fun that at the end, the whole fucking audience is chanting, Bert, Bert.
Yeah.
Bert.
Wow.
And I'm fucking stomping around going,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It was the greatest fucking, it was like,
That is great, though.
oh.
I mean, because, that's one of those things, too, where, you get those moments and you really are like, man, it's a really amazing thing that I'm here. And even, on that level, that's, insane to be able to sing the song with the guy and have your name chanted at the end of that shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It was I think I've said to someone we did a reading with. Oh, you guys should do Dr. Drew's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew and Bob Forster.
Oh, I love Dr. Drew.
Oh, yeah. He was on
loved-
Marin. We had him on Marin.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever get? I sent you an email a long time ago that you never replied to, and
there we go.
Is that true?
I always thought it upset you.
I doubt it.
I'm certain of it.
It said, fuck you, Dave Anthony, Bert.
No, it was me, you, Burr, Ari, and Tommy.
Okay.
On the podcast, and Al, and it was about someone joining All Things Comedy.
Yeah.
And then you replied, definitely we should have this guy. He's the funniest guy I know. And then I replied, hold up a second, Dave. We haven't really hung out yet. You should hang out with me before you say that. And you just didn't reply. You just didn't respond.
Amazing
I'm sure
reply.
that made me laugh, dude. That didn't make. That's hilarious.
No reply. And I went, oh, maybe
You're
I
the girl in the front row. Oh.
No way. There's no way that didn't make me laugh.
mean,
that's
that's
fucking
so
hilarious.
great.
And I was like, and then I ended up listening to a podcast where Marin was talking about you, and he was talking about you in a way where I was like, that was the wrong joke to make. And I was like, motherfucker, why am I such an idiot?
You stupid, Bert. You're stupid.
Scotty
but-
J and Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. I'll change it if you don't like it.
And then you just try to kiss him. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
No, okay, so I'm the king of making people feel awkward.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Really?
My wife is always just like
When I texted him coming over here, I said because it was Waze was doing the thing because I was late. Waze was doing the thing where the numbers are going up slowly, and you're just sitting there like, this is just terrible. This is.
Oh, you're watching the number
just watching the number. Yeah,
23 minutes.
yeah.
We found a worse way for you to go.
And I text Dave, and he just goes, "Yeah, that happens at the commuting hour." I was like, oh. Anyway, sorry, your wife.
And then my wife's always just like, how are you, like, because someone will say something, and then I just let them hang, and I just stare at them, and she's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I just fucking love living in that moment where people don't know what to do. You're just like, look at you, you're freaking out. I'm just staring at you.
Tom Segura should be brothers. Sometimes I think he's dead inside. Like, he'll do things that only he finds fucking funny.
Yeah.
And I'll just go,
Oh, yeah.
and Like he'll make. I wish I could remember the joke he made today. Oh, we get on the plane. I'm drunk. It's like 10 in the morning. And
after taking a nude photograph of your friend.
After taking a nude photo of me. By the way, I looked great.
That was you?
That was me.
Oh, I thought that was Tom.
No. My body naked. He may be lighter than I am, but my body is 10 million times better than his naked.
That's the new contest,
dude. Fucking nude photo shoot.
Better nude.
Nude photo shoot.
Better nude.
We walk on the plane and we're sitting in first class.
Yeah.
And Tom walks up to the stewardess, flight attendant, and goes, "Please cut him off. Don't serve him any more alcohol." He whispers in her ear, and we get to our chair. I go, "What did you say?" And he said, "I told her to cut you off." I go, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And he started going. I go, "Asshole, I want a drink." And he goes, "Hey, you're not drinking now." And she served everyone a drink except for me. I go, "It's not fucking funny, man." I go, I don't have anything to do today. I got a podcast at 6. I'm doing Tom Papa's. I'm going to be loaded for that. Yeah. I go, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And then she comes back, and I go, "Hey, can I please get a drink?" And she looks at him.
Like he's your wrangler.
I go, "What the fuck, man?"
Tom, Kenny.
You know what? Your boyfriend cut you off.
Tom cut you off. The man in 3D cut you off. Sorry, sir.
Fucking. And I was like, it's not. And he was laughing hysterically. I go, "It's not funny." I go, "It's not funny at all. Like, there's no joke. No one's laughing except for you."
It can only be you and him in on it, and you're not laughing.
And I'm not laughing. I'm like, I wanted to drink. Fucking idiot.
Well, Dave will do that. Like, I kind of got lucky because the way I met Dave was like we didn't know each other that well before we started. I mean, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other that well before starting to do a podcast. And then I just found that he was like that with people.
Well, you saw the time I went on the podcast when he had Sam had like a anniversary show,
200th episode,
and there were 2 porn stars there,
right?
And I just started grilling one of them because she was really stupid, so I just started asking her questions. And I think I said something. It was something about England, where I said, "What's your favorite state?" or something, and she said.
There was something where it was, England. It would be like, "What's your favorite continent?" And someone's like, "Delaware." It was like one of those, like, I don't know where you.
Laughing at her, and Sam's getting mad, and I'm just laughing at her face because it's fucking crazy. Like, I get that you suck dick and put stuff in your pussy for a living, but you can read a book when you're not doing that. You can pick one up.
Fuck a book every now and then. That's what I've always said.
Put a book in your vagina.
One of the best things that ever happened to me is we were supposed to do a Vivid Video comedy tour.
Oh, wow.
Me and Sam Tripoli and someone else. And our first date was at Riddle's in Chicago. And it was like, man, I wish my brain was better and I could remember this. But I will tell you, it was 2 very famous porn stars, both of which I really wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
And I was just at that point where, like, we had just had a kid, and, like, my wife didn't want to have sex because she had just had a kid,
right?
Obviously. But, like, I was in a really, like, weird place. And I backed out of it at the last minute.
Really?
And whoever replaced me ended up fucking both the porn stars.
Oh, shut up.
That's tough.
At the same time or separately?
You're just like, "No more updates, please, on how the night went."
Oh,
wow.
It was like, "Oh, you missed out." And it's like fucking nude. I'm like, "Are you shitting?" I wish I remember the girl. I don't think it was Brie Olson, but it was like someone that
right.
definitely was like
popular,
super attracted to.
I fake stabbed her to death in a movie.
What?
You what? Fake stabbed Brie Olson to death in a movie with your penis? A knife.
Penn made a movie from Penn and Teller. And I play a reenactment guy, and I like jump out of a closet and like stab her to death, and a fucking shit flies open. I'm like, I'm stabbing Brie Olson's tits.
Oh wow!
I did a short one time where it was called Alpha Male, but it was spelled M-A-I-L. It was about a mailman.
Sure.
Wow.
It was a really good script. This guy Terry wrote it. I wish you guys would love Terry. Anyway, we had to have a sex scene, like a sex scene. A really beautiful girl, and so they get us in bed, and I'm in my underwear, and she's in her panties,
right?
And we pretend to have sex.
Well,
no top on.
Okay, is she hot?
gorgeous.
Okay.
And my dick gets really hard.
Yeah. How is it not gonna?
But I was so embarrassed.
Did she say anything?
No, I just stopped. And they were like, we need more of this shot. And I was like, I think we got it. I think we're all wrapped.
I think we got it.
So embarrassed.
My balls are calling cut.
Yeah. My balls are calling cut.
But wouldn't she be more offended if you didn't get a hard on?
I don't know. I was so embarrassed.
Did you think? See, at that moment, I would have winked at her.
Yeah. I'm finished.
Oh.
I had to do one once.
Do you just stop in the middle and go, do you guys want to do this again?
Yeah. You just look at her and go, did you come too? I did one once, and it was that too, where I maintained the course as long as I could, and eventually I was like, I'm only one man, and this is just one penis. And she was cool. She really was cool.
Dude, I was so embarrassed.
But you're supposed to get you shouldn't be embarrassed. You should have jumped out of there and be like, yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's the thing
This
with
is
the
what
penis.
happens to a man.
The thing with the penis is like it's not a barometer for what I'm thinking or doing. Like I'm not being a pervert.
Yeah, you can
My
rub
little
it-
perverted dick is being a pervert. I'm sorry.
And you can rub it against a fucking orange tree and get a hard on. Like
I
it's a
did that
dick.
earlier today. I came here. I scouted the place earlier. I clocked it. I came in. I rubbed my dick on Bert's tree. Then I was 20 minutes late. You're welcome.
I've had times where I was like, an orange tree will do. I'm definitely going to have sex tonight. My daughter walked in on me and my wife the other night.
Really? How old's your daughter?
22. No, I'm kidding. That never fails.
That is always a great bit.
It's such. I said, I want to say it was Dove Davidoff. We were at an audition, and Dove Davidoff was there, and they were like, said something like, they go, man, they've been casting this a while. And Dove's like, oh, yeah, I went in a little bit. And they go, wait, how long have you been auditioning for this? And Dove Davidoff goes, 19 years. And it murdered. He's someone I wish I saw more of. You guys know Dove?
I've met him a couple of times. He's a great comic.
He's a
good guy.
Interesting fucking guy.
Yeah, I don't know him that well.
We did a show in Amsterdam one time, and he had just gotten engaged. And they were sharing a hotel room, and she took a shit in the hotel room, and he broke off the engagement.
No.
Yep.
What?
Yup.
No.
Yup.
Wait a minute. What? So he was really in love with her.
She was so beautiful. She was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
I never wanted to know that things came out of your asshole.
And Dove, we watched him process it to break it off in the van.
Really? He was livid.
He was like, hey, you know how Dove is? Who takes a shit in the fucking room? You go to the lobby. You know? I'm doing Sebastian right now.
Come on.
He's like, what the fuck? You're taking a shit in the fucking room. And we were howling in the thing. And she was defending herself. Like,
She's there?
She's
there?
in the fucking van.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my
and
God.
He's like, and she's like, I had to go to the bathroom. And he was like, you don't do it in the room. I'm doing a horrible Dove
It's
impression.
fine. It's good. It's working.
And we were howling laughing. And then they broke off their engagement.
Oh, my God.
She was, and I will tell you this candidly, a woman I would let shit on my chest. She was so beautiful.
That's
She was
what-
a
that-
model.
Wait, but why are those two things related?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I guess I would let a lot of women shit on my chest. That's a really bad idea.
That's actually an offer I'm just floating out to her. If you want to squat.
If she said to me, listen, the way I shit is I shit in your hands and you put it in the toilet for me, I'd be like, oh, done. Like, she was gorgeous.
It's a fine process, and I love it.
Dove just, and he couldn't control it. He was like he was so like almost blown away that someone would shit in the hotel room.
Yeah, this is and that's why we broke it off. But there is like a weird. The problem there is that if you're at the point of engagement, you would think at least you're aware of the person's situation. Like at least that you're like that at some point that's come into play at some point.
Not at all. It had never.
But it's not like the first weekend they've had away, and you're like,
very well might have been.
Well, then I guess actually everything makes a sense if you look at it a little illogically.
That was a crazy week too. Jamie Kilstein was on that show.
Oh wow!
And Jamie Kilstein was like, I know he's sober. I don't think he drinks at all. But man, I think he was like flying a manic fucking carpet ride.
Oh, really?
Oh, hardcore. Because he was like just eyes blinking a lot. And he's like, hey man, how you doing? And you're like, pretty good, man. How you doing? He's like, great, working with Janine next week. Can't wait, Janine. All right, gotta go. Elevator. And I was like,
Yeah, take the stairs.
yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie's an interesting guy too. But that was a fun fucking. It was some. Hannibal Buress was there, and I had a documentary film crew following me around. And Hannibal got really high and forgot that he had met them, and he thought they were paparazzi.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
wow. That's great.
And he, man, I've never. Hannibal can throw back cocktails.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Like we were leaving, and he went at this end of this night, and there were wine glasses filled, and we were like, we're just gonna go. And he's like, hold on, and like
Just
fucking
took 'em.
Spalding.
Oh
just
my God.
Soldiered
Really?
each one.
And I was
Jesus.
like, whoa. And I remember saying, someone needs to watch him. Like, we need to get him home.
That's like that would be like that Hawkridge movie where that James Garfield Mel Gibson movie that just came out where the guy saved each
Hacksaw
person
Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
And he's like that, but with the wine. Please, Jesus, just the power for one more.
Have you seen, is it a good movie?
Great movie.
I
I
haven't
mean, I
seen
know
it.
that everybody like obviously there's like Mel Gibson as a director, as a human, is a very touchy subject, which you can understand. But that movie's subject matter is fucking fascinating, and he makes like really good gory movies.
Mel
he
Gibson's a fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah, he just lives next to the devil or something like that. His latest beard is
Dude, wait,
demonic.
Did you see him on Kimmel shave that guy's head?
no.
What?
Oof. It's like, it was not the best bit, because I guess some guy, they like find some guy on the street, and then they're going to have Mel Gibson shave his head, or give him a haircut. Basically, Mel Gibson just shaves this guy's head, which is ultimately, it always turns out into looking like a bully move.
Yeah.
Always.
It's not the best thing Mel Gibson could have done.
Yeah.
And then the guy shaves Mel Gibson's beard. But Mel Gibson's got something going on with like I don't know if he doesn't listen or like
He's okay. So
He might be Riggs.
when I first moved here, I worked at Staples Center for a year, and I worked in the suites. And he was in a suite one night, and so I was taking care of him. He fucking left his video camera, and I chased him down and gave it back to him. And as I'm handing it to him, I'm like, "What in the fuck
am I doing? I work at the Staples
This
Center.
is the stupidest thing. It's fucking Mel Gibson's home videos. What the fuck?
Yeah, you've
Like,
got a
out of my
golden ticket.
fucking
I mean, think now, knowing what you know now, what are on those
Holy
tapes?
shit! Right?
Yeah, it's just him like
It's just
cutting
him
his leg
screaming,
and like
"Joe,
that
Joe,
hurts.
Joe."
putting what's the thing that the guy in. I wish I was smarter, and this would be a much simpler sentence.
You're among friends.
What's the thing that the guy in the Da Vinci Code put around his leg and tightened it? It's a
Tourniquet?
Assist? No.
Oh.
Did you ever see the Da
Uh-uh, I never
it's
saw it.
probably not the Da Vinci Code. That's probably the wrong movie. What was the one that Tom
You're thinking
Hanks
of
said?
Caddyshack.
No.
Bachelor party.
What's the thing? It's the fucking stonk. It's the... Never mind.
Stonk?
Fucking never mind.
Stonk.
Did you just try to describe something and the word you used was stonk?
Hey Siri, what's the thing that guy in that movie put around his leg that Tom Hanks was in?
AKA Stonk.
Let's see what she said.
You fucked
She's
up.
still listening.
You broke
out there.
Siri.
You want sushi?
Everybody's Siri in the entire country just shut down.
Okay, so wait, the guy put
Oh, that's
sushi
so
on his
true.
leg?
Have you done that on a podcast?
No.
I did that on Rogan, and a lot of people got pissed.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you say, "Hey Siri," they just stop listening to the podcast.
Oh.
Is that true?
It stops everyone's phone.
So someone on a
shit, that's crazy.
someone on a news program
I
somewhere.
heard about this shit. This
said,
is crazy.
What's the name of the Amazon one?
Alexa.
Alexa said, "Hey Alexa," and to order something, and everybody was
Alexa.
listening to the show. Alexa started ordering.
But didn't
it.
Alexa say something crazy? I heard that Alexa said Alexa said
she's
something
saying-
to the
she's
level of
saying
like,
you-
"I'll never die" or something like weird like that.
Oh, she gets weird if you get really deep into her.
What? Are you fucking Alexa?
You know what
Don't
I
worry
do?
about
You know
it.
what I do
What?
on radio sometimes? I'll go, "Hey Siri, put it in my calendar that Bert Kreischer is at the Buffalo Helium Comedy Club." And then it
Actually,
puts-
call the Helium Club now. Ask for tickets.
"Hey Siri, take my credit card and charge 10 tickets to the Helium Comedy Club in Buffalo, New York."
Do it now.
Anyway, that joke, that whatever my thought was, we fell apart because it's very specific. with the Mel Gibson thing. But you realize how great it would be if you had video of Mel Gibson,
dude.
But you had sat on it.
Sat on it, right? Fuck, I blew it, man.
It'd be
we found a ring in SeaWorld. It's a diamond ring with emeralds all over it. It's a very expensive ring. We found it at SeaWorld. There was an inscription. I put a video on my YouTube looking for the owner. Mm-hmm. My wife the other day was like, "Hey, when can we like cash in on that ring?" I go, "Never. It's not ours." I go, "I'm waiting for the owner." I go, "In 20 years, when they reach out to me and they're like, 'Hey, Bert, thank you. That was my mother's ring.'" I go, "Do you realize what that'll do for me?" Everyone will be like, "God damn it, man. You had this ring for 20 years and you waited for it." And Leanne's like, "Fucking, let's get a new car."
You're like, wait.
No, that's not how it works.
I think I'm on your wife's side.
Yeah. It's a fucking great ring. It's like big diamonds.
You know, I lost one there recently.
Really?
No. But
what's the inscription? There's an inscription. That's the best part of it. So, like, does he know the inscription?
Dear Bert, give it back.
Mine's it's the inscription, because it's my ring. It says, "Hey, cunt."
I don't know, Dave. Imagine taking that ring to get that inscription.
And it's from the 1900s.
Hey, cunt. When a cunt was a car.
Cunt was a car.
Okay, wait. So your daughter walks in on you.
Oh, right.
So I throw a temper tantrum.
Okay, wait.
You're upset.
Who's on top?
My wife.
Okay.
So I throw a temper tantrum because my daughter wants to sleep with us.
Okay.
Okay.
I go into the other room. We just put added another room for the girls. I go to that room. My wife comes in. She does this thing where like she like, she'll go, "You want to just have a quickie?" And it bothers me because I'm like, "No, I want to have sex. I want to like get into it." She's like, "Just have a quickie," and it's a bully move. My wife's a bully.
Right.
She really is. Like I was telling Tom today, I go, she's at heart, she's a bitch. She'll come back here. You'll see her. And just try to read it off her face.
Okay.
She is a bitch. Like I think so, but in like a good term. You know, there's a lot of women that are bitches.
Like,
yeah.
But she's a hardcore bully. I woke up the other morning. She's sitting on my lap, and the girls are laying on my arms. And I go, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "We know you don't like your belly button being fucked with." And I was like, "What?" And they fucking touch my belly button. Right?
Sensitive area.
Fucking do not like that.
Yeah.
No, that would freak me out.
So my wife comes in, and then I go, "Fine." And then she makes me laugh because when she bullies, it makes me laugh. And then she gets on top of me. We start trying to get it going, and my daughter comes in sobbing, crying.
Ugh.
She's like, "I thought you would sleep with me tonight." And I was like, "Oh." My wife's totally naked.
Oh, my God.
And has to like put on clothes. She's like, hold on. Isla's crying in the hallway. "I thought you'd sleep with me tonight." And I'm just like, what a fucking cock blocker.
Just a quickie.
Yeah. I was like, 5 minutes.
Come on.
And then in my head, I'm
Including cleanup.
I thought.
So she never realized you guys were doing it?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think so.
How
we
old
haven't
is she?
really, no confirmation.
How old?
10.
I walked in on my parents when I was 10, and it was super weird.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think I fully
Who was on top?
Not me. Not this kid. This kid had to go to his room and think for a while. The lady's there. "Get out of here, ma'am." But I don't think I fully had like an understand. You know, I didn't understand fully what like sex was. And because I mean, you know, this is before you could just watch porno wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
And you needed to know a kid who had like a woods near his house. And but so like it like took me a minute to process, and then when I finally did, I was like, "What the fuck is their problem?" You know, I really was like, ugh. I was so grossed out by it. It was
Where'd you grow up?
Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah, Milwaukee,
Where did you
Wisconsin.
grow up?
North of San Francisco.
Oh, how great is your life?
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Not bad.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
it's a fucking great place to grow up.
It's so beautiful. I love Wisconsin in the summers.
Yeah.
And everyone goes out to the lake.
yeah,
Oh,
It is a great-
the mosquitoes.
yeah. The mosquitoes are bad.
Fucking
They're
brutal.
huge.
Brutal. Yeah, because they're like they're feeding.
Yeah.
They get fat. I mean, there's some, you know, the ones where like you hit one and it just looks like it ate like Thanksgiving. You're just like, oh no, and you know that it's like some of yours, but it's also like, it's my neighbor's blood.
Have you ever got a mosquito to bite on you and then flexed?
No,
What?
it blows them up, right?
It gets locked in and it can't pull its nose out.
Seriously?
Yeah. But Florida, the mosquitoes were super bad. Can I tell you what ignorance I grew up with? We were in Tampa growing up, and there was a gay nightclub next door to where we were partying, and there were mosquitoes out, and everyone's like, "We're all gonna get AIDS."
Oh God.
That was like I always say, like, I wish someone just acknowledged how ignorant my childhood was.
Right.
To go, hey man, you make great strides to be a regular person.
Yeah.
Like no one ever acknowledges that.
You can only get you can get AIDS from squirrels.
What?
But not.
How do you fuck a squirrel?
It's you just got to put it near your nuts. To 19 years. Yeah.
Get AIDS from a squirrel.
Who found this out? Who's the guy who's like, hey, Charlie, can I tell you something between us? I got AIDS and I haven't had sex with a woman in 5 years. But we got this nest near me. Boy, oh boy.
That's how Bernard Getz got.
Hey, before this meeting starts, FYI, you can get AIDS from a squirrel.
All right. Now let's talk about the quarterly numbers. Where are we with that? Yeah, you can. Squirrels. So we're spiking? How we doing? Let's talk numbers, guys.
You can get AIDS from a squirrel? How do you know this information?
And how? Is that true?
No.
I'm going to pass out.
If we all passed out, that would be amazing.
Oh my God! What a great podcast!
I can laugh myself to pass out.
I see stars sometimes when I laugh.
I do. Wait,
are you in Hollywood?
Oh
yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah, I always wish that someone would acknowledge that, like, I did not grow up super open-minded. Like that wasn't the way my friends were. There was no one like. There was not. You know, now that I think about it, I didn't know one liberal person.
Seriously?
Until I moved to New York.
But there are liberal people in Florida.
No.
But even if you
know.
Really?
I mean, like, I'll tell you what. I've said this. I wrote this in my book. Like, when I was in a fraternity, the N-word was thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
But not even about black people as much. It was like right when Quentin Tarantino Pulp Fiction came out.
Right.
And like everyone used that word. Like it was like part of the vernacular. And there was this is going to sound super horrible, but I mean it to be honest so that anyone else hears this goes, "Oh yeah, I understand. I'm the same way." I didn't have sincere sensitivity for using the word, the F word, faggot. Why would I even say the F word?
I like how you said the F word and then you said it.
But like, it's so confusing. But like, until Todd Glass had that Marin. When Todd Glass was on Marin, talked about being gay, it really opened my eyes, and I went, and like, I just didn't care. Not that I used the word a lot, but I didn't care. Like, it was just like, I was like, I didn't understand the effect of like, oh, that's a gay shirt, or that's.
But it was also. I mean, that is the thing with like. I mean, language and the idea of when you change your perspective gets changed when you're actually confronted with those things. So if you're not raised around any of that stuff and you only hear one thing, I mean, it's like people who are raised in a cult. Yeah. I mean, or Amish, you believe this shit because your parents are like telling you and it's what you're seeing around you and stuff like that. But, language changes. There was a time when everybody would say that and would say it, with venom behind it. And then it got to the point where it wasn't that. It was more like a joke that you would call someone that, like if they didn't catch a ball right or something. And then you're like, oh, no, now you can't, and you slowly, eventually, are trying to find the terms that we can agree on that are as sensitive as possible.
It's one of the things, do you guys feel like this? I feel like you guys probably see a broader spectrum of comedy than I see. But like, one of the things that bums me out about comedy is like, I know what affected change in me. Like, I know, like, and dead seriously, Todd Glass's Marin, like, literally changed me. Like, it changed me as a human being. I went, oh, I love Todd. And I would never want Todd to ever feel like I didn't accept his lifestyle or accept what he wanted, what his heart wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, more importantly, I was like, and I never saw that perspective of a young kid going through struggles with his sexuality, and then hearing me, a guy you might like on TV, and going, oh, I like this guy, and then I go, oh, this is the gayest ride, and then the guy goes, oh, so now my lifestyle sucks?
Yeah.
But what bums me out, and this might not be accurate, and feel free to correct me, is like, I feel like that now what is happening is there's a bunch of agenda-driven comedy where it's like, this is my point of view, I'm going to shove it down your throat. And I go, I don't know if that's affecting change the way, like, the one thing I can say is, like, the way Todd did. Or, like, you know, when Trayvon Martin died, when got murdered, his mom came on and said, like, said something, and his dad, and I think a lot of people probably looked at his mom and dad in a certain way, but I saw his dad and I was like, oh man, he just lost his kid. Yeah. Like, and it really blew me away. And I was like, so many people now are taking agendas. Like, I love Amy Schumer. I'm not shitting on Amy at all. I love Amy. I will forever be a friend to Amy as long as I live, but I can speak freely because I know her. But like when she did the thing about Trump and kicked the guy out of, no, not kicked her out of the show, but brought the guy on stage. I was like, that's not.
Wait, I didn't even know what she did.
She said, is anyone voting for Trump in here? And a guy came on stage, and then they had a back and forth, and it did not go well. I mean, I'm certain her intention was to make it funny. Yeah. But it was not funny. And then the guy was embarrassed, and I think he left, and then they booed her. And then it was in Florida, oddly enough. My hometown. It was in Tampa, oddly enough. And then
I was booing there. No.
It was in Tampa, where I grew up. Shocker! But I go, like the stuff with what's the girl from Girls?
Lena Dunham. She's got to shut the fuck up.
But like, I go, you're not. I don't know if you're affecting change the way.
No, she's not.
I don't even know
she's
if they care to.
She's the opposite affecting change. Yeah. She's making people feel like shit.
It's a really weird place right now too, because everybody's very on edge. Anybody who is for Trump is very defensive, and anybody who's anti-Trump. I mean, it's a lot like remember the blue and black dress when everyone was like, "This dress is blue." It's like when you have arguments with people, or you even see arguments as an observer online. You're like, it's just. People are very, very reactive right now. It's a hard time to find comedy by being like, I totally disagree with you for everybody. I mean, you know, but I like what Amy did was, like you said, it was.
Well, it is what it is. It's like, you know what? To be dead honest with you, don't ever critique what I do on stage from afar because I'm trying to do something. It may not work, but fuck you. You weren't there. You weren't me. You didn't have the money.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not critiquing Amy in that situation. But part of me goes like, whatever happened to like, why can't there be more people like Todd Glass? That's what I think.
In the sense of being more honest, you mean, and discussing in that way?
Yeah.
Vulnerable, too. There was a vulnerability with that at first, you know?
He did that,
he's also telling a story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to pushing an agenda.
Right.
He's just, because that's what changes minds, is telling a story from, okay, so I used to do a podcast with Greg Behrendt called Walk in the Room, and we were really fucking dirty, filthy. Like, it was just a filthy fucking
I love
podcast.
Greg Behrendt.
Yeah, he's the best.
I love Greg Behrendt.
Yeah, such a good fucking comic.
Dude.
Yeah. His Comedy Central half hour is still one of the best Comedy Central half hours you'll ever see.
He's great.
So, what was I talking about?
You used to do a podcast with Greg Behrendt.
Oh, so we used to say the word tranny all the time. And then people were like, you can't fucking say tranny, it's offensive, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like that, in no way did I ever mean it in a defensive term, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then someone just sent me a big fucking letter just explaining from their perspective of why it was a bummer to hear that.
Yeah.
And then they never said it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part where I go, that's what's missing in this dialogue. Like, maybe it's story. Maybe it's like someone going, hey, this is my personal experience.
Yeah.
Like, you know, someone said to me, I reached out to Rhea Butcher to be on my podcast. I think that her and Cameron are both very funny.
Yeah.
But I really find Rhea funny. Like, I just connected with her very quickly. And so I just sent her a direct message, and I was like, I would love to have you on my podcast. I'd love to have both of you on my podcast, obviously. But, like, I mean, also, I know you're individuals.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a team.
Yeah.
So if you want to do my podcast individually, great. If Cameron would like to come, I'd love to have her as well. And she was really having a hard time with the Trump election. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And I was like, oh, my God. And then I talked to someone, and they're like, no, you realize that like all gay rights can totally be taken away now. Yeah. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what?
What's happening?
Because none of this, like, when Trump got elected, I was with the night he got elected. I was with 4 wealthy white males,
right?
And all of us were like, whatever.
Yeah,
no, because it doesn't affect wealthy white males.
It actually kind of helps us. Really kind of helps us. Yeah. Like, no offense, this election has been fucking win-win for me.
Oh no!
But, I mean, it's sad to say. And I get to see an assassination. This is going to be amazing.
This is a movie preview I'm living.
Fucking seriously? I've always wanted to walk by a bar and be like, what's going on? Oh, you don't know? But like,
the Bible that he was about to put his hand on blew up.
But yeah, and I didn't, I don't think you know the things that like Mexican people, man. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the fear of losing your parents?
Like, I think that really is the perspective that is so crazy when you think about a kid raised here now thinking...
Has no connection to Mexico.
None.
Has been here the whole fucking... since they were like 1. Has always been here, but they're illegal.
And then
they get... Because people get fucking sent back to these countries and they're like... I don't know.
And it's their parents. It's like you're worried about your like you remember when you're a kid, you're like the stress you feel over your parents and like preserving your parents and your parents not having sex in front of you when you're 10. God, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But you have this sort of like you worry about your parents in this weird sort of way, and then if you,
I mean, some of you worried about your parents.
Wait, wait,
well, Dave,
let's wait. Let's glass half full this and go. How sweet would it be if you're 15 and your parents get sent to Mexico and you're like, oh, guess mic drop, bitch. I got parties this weekend, son.
20th Century Fox presents.
I'll take care of the house. Deported.
Deported house party, July 4th.
House deported.
House deported. House deported too.
I would if I was 16 and they were like, your parents are going back to Ireland, I'd be like, done, son.
Come on, Bert, you're coming with us. No, I'm not. USA, bitch.
Guess who's driving a Mercedes to school? Fucking put on your dad's watch.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like you're living like a body switch movie, but without the fountain.
It's like Home Alone, but with Mexicans. This is probably, by the way, someone's definitely going to complain about this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very serious subject, Bert.
It's really serious.
Fucking Bert.
Well, yeah.
But
we are saying it's serious. I mean, it's like...
It is crazy that is like... But then I just go, like, I wish people... I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
That was a good thought.
Yeah. I wish I was smarter so I could say things that I think, but then I get high and I'm like,
yeah.
I have like paragraph thoughts in my head.
Pot does that.
I got so high last night.
I like pot.
So he gives me... So I used to smoke pot all the time.
Oh, I don't think I've had the follow-up to this.
Oh, I guess you haven't. So I'm going away, for Christmas, and we go up north, and I drop my kid at my sister's house, and then
How's your kid?
7.
One?
So what?
One?
Yeah, just one. That
girl,
was
boy.
Boy. Yeah, he's fucking great.
Home run. Why would you have another one? You already got the boy.
Yeah, he plays fucking baseball. He's great.
That's why I had 2. I was looking for the boy.
Yeah,
My buddy Miles goes, keep knocking the dicks off.
Can you check inside there for a dick, sir? I think he might have dropped it.
Yeah.
And if he's my boy, it's a big one.
Plays baseball?
He's a phenom.
Oh.
He's 7. He's playing with 9 and 11-year-olds already. They moved him up a league.
Yeah. He's like a young Rube, but with a brain.
Hits, 7 years old, hits in the batting cage, 65 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour pitches from both sides of the plate.
He really is crazy.
He's fucking 7.
Hold on.
It's crazy.
All right.
He turned his first unassisted triple play when he was 5. Like, it's nuts to watch.
Wait. Is this bad to say? Can I go watch your kid play baseball? My daughter's playing softball. I mean, this is a bit I'm doing. It's so this will be a bit that you're about to hear.
Yeah.
This is true.
Okay.
I go to their practice. Coach isn't using a ball. He doesn't want them to fail. Right? Yeah. Well,
It doesn't want him to
Wait,
fail.
wait.
That's what fucking sports is.
Wait, what's he using?
an imaginary ball.
No, wait. Bert,
Is this
is
mime
not softball.
What the fuck is this?
These are soft lies.
You could argue the ball is the most important part of the game.
I mean, if you think it's the headliner. Softball.
Softball.
Ball.
It's not soft.
Soft imagination.
And he's out
Is
there.
anybody trapped in a box on the field?
Yeah.
He's got them out there because he wants them to learn where the play is. So he's like, all right, here we go, ladies. Runner on first and second. Ground ball to Lily. Here we go. Makes a noise. Swings away. Ground ball, Lily. What do you do? And then she fields it perfectly.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay. Yeah,
she's
man.
got great hands with the imaginary ball.
What if she didn't though?
So my daughter's in center field. This is Isla, my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
All right, base is loaded. Fly ball to Isla. And I watch my daughter. I swear to you, on their lives. Stop, freeze, look up, and then start backing up.
Oh my God!
And then turn around and start running like it went over her fucking head.
Because she's watched baseball.
There's no fucking
That's amazing.
There's no fucking ball. I go, who fails in their own imagination? I go, are you shitting me? And then throws her glove in the air like,
she's
fuck
I
it.
couldn't fucking judge it. It came off the sound so fast.
Yeah, and
I couldn't focus. The fans are throwing beer on me.
The coach was like, I guess I hit it over her head. Yeah. But the best part of the story.
That is amazing.
The best part of the story is I call my wife. I go, you're never gonna believe what your idiot daughter just did. She was like, what? I tell her. She goes, don't bring it up. She goes, one of the favorite things, especially when you have a kid, is like when you call your spouse and go, guess what?
Yeah.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. She goes, don't fuck with this. Like, that's her brain, and it makes us laugh. And so don't shame her. So we get in the car, and I go, but I can't help it. I'm like, yo, Isla, what happened with that fly ball? She didn't even miss a beat. Staring out the window like a stoner and goes, yep, coach really got a hold of that one. Just a weird fucking kid.
But I can tell you exactly what it is. There's nothing more boring when you're a kid than being in the outfield.
Oh.
So she fucking just ran with it with her imagination because she's bored out of her fucking mind.
She stands in the outfield.
Really got a hold of it.
That's
if
hilarious.
she stands in the outfield,
That's my ride. I got to roll.
she stands in the outfield and just looks for bees. She's terrified of bees.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's why she wants to be a catcher because
Hilarious.
there's no
Be on
bees.
the dirt, right? Yeah.
Weird, but Isla is a much better softball player than Georgia. But they both have beautiful swings. But I've found that softball coaches fuck up my kids' swings. So I played competitive baseball up until college. I got recruited to play at Duke in the Citadel, and then went to Florida State, walked on, and then quit the first day. And,
really?
Yeah, but was a legit baseball.
What position?
Catcher, third base, left field. But I caught a dude who went pro, and because I caught him, everyone was like, "Well, then he can catch anywhere."
Right.
And so went pro, almost won the Cy Young Award. Oddly enough.
Whoa. The Rube Odell.
Yeah. And so, but I've taken very big strides on my daughter's swings.
Yeah.
I went through drills with them on how to swing, like how to break the wrists, and coaches always fuck it up.
Always fuck it up.
Always.
They always do. So we had a tournament team this summer. And
did you play baseball growing up?
Yeah. We had a tournament team in this summer, and so most of the kids are just starting to fucking swing and learn this shit. And Finn has a natural swing. There's a guy who we take him to a camp, and he's an ex-pro guy, and he goes, don't do anything.
Dude, there's nothing
don't
more
touch
beautiful
him.
than a kid with a natural swing.
Oh, it's
Right.
crazy.
My buddy Cayman Lazera had the most beautiful swing you've ever seen in your life. There was this kid, Brucey, that ended up playing in Miami. The most beautiful swing, and you just went, oh, that's just gorgeous.
Right.
Just effortless.
Right.
Yeah. You see it, and you're like, what's happening right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just born with this fucking swing, and we put him on this tournament team, and then the coaches were like, "Oh, we're gonna have him go to this place. We're gonna work on their swinging. And it's like an indoor place where you pitch to him." And I just watched them break him down until he didn't know what he was doing. And I was like, I just yanked him after like 3 of those because his swing was just shit all of a sudden, and I'm just like, no. And then I talked to that ex-pro guy, and he goes, don't do anything to that kid. Just let him
hit.
Yeah, let him hit. If you need to tweak things as he gets older, you'll be able to do it. He goes, but
steroids are going to be a thing you're going to need to put in him. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
I'd never had a great swing.
He's a catcher too. He loves catching. He throws guys out. He's 7.
It's amazing.
7.
We were playing.
He's 7?
We were playing a fall. Yeah,
He's 7.
He's 7. We were playing
Triple play.
We're playing fall ball. This he was playing with the 9 to 11 years old, and they see him, and the coach is like, "Oh, just run on him." And I go, Finn. This kid's gonna run, because usually they wait till you drop the ball in that age. And I go, he's just gonna run. So I go, gun him down, and I yell it across because I want everybody to know it's not to happen.
Hell yeah.
I go, just
Imagine
gun him
Not
down.
who I imagine Dave to be.
Come on.
Is that dad?
Oh yeah. I can see it.
I go, Finn, gun him down.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, and I'm just like, watch. And he catches it, and he jumps up, and the kid's like 10. and he's running, and he can't believe when he gets to the base that the ball is already there, and he just stops
rope.
and gets tagged out.
Yeah.
He just gets tagged out, and everyone's like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Don't fucking run on my kid!"
Oh.
All right, so that's it. You are absolutely out of here.
No, but I yelled
we've been
at Finn.
very
I was
clear.
like, "That's right, they don't run on you, Finn."
You want to hear something crazy? So I get extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And you don't see, no one ever sees that in me,
Right.
But I'm very, very competitive. So I had a really hard time watching the girls play softball because I'm not home enough to be able to coach.
Yeah.
But I know so much more than their coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just makes me
It
crazy.
drives you. I'm a big soccer guy, and watching these soccer coaches, I want to blow my brains out.
I end up in the outfield, and usually I'll smoke pot and just sit in the outfield.
Yeah.
And just go. I can't
Dude,
deal with
there's
this.
a bunch of parents when you get to the major leagues in this league we're in,
Yeah.
who go to the outfield and sit in the outfield because they can't take it.
Right.
I can't, I'm
That's amazing.
and like
The island of misfit toys.
It's an instinct to
Right.
go just to jump in. I can't shut my mouth.
Right, yeah.
So I go to the outfield. I get high one day. We're playing a team from deep in the valley, Mexican, all Mexican.
Yeah.
Very. By the way, say whatever you want to say about me, but I will say that the Mexican teams are a lot more competitive than the white teams. Like the coaches are more involved. Like the white teams, it just seems like, and I'm just telling you my experience, whatever this is.
Oh, you're racist.
But yeah. Well, so we get done the game, and it's a much more competitive game. The girls are stealing home. The girls are stealing every base, and my oldest daughter is like barely doing anything in the game. We get in the car. I'm high. Both my daughters and my wife is driving, and my oldest daughter just goes, "I don't think I like Mexicans." I go, what? She goes, I don't know if I like Mexicans. They seem very aggressive. And I go, and now I'm super high.
Yeah,
right? I'm super high. And I go,
Oh my God.
no, you don't like poor people.
Oh my
She goes,
God.
what? I go, it has nothing to do with their skin color. Those girls are underprivileged. So this is their moment. You know, this is their, like, you have a lot of shit to do today. Their day might be over. But they're from a poor area of town. So you don't like poor people. My wife's like, the fuck are you saying?
Hey, Bert, don't help right now, huh? Can you not help so much?
High as shit. I'm like, no, you don't like poor people. My wife's like, shut the fuck up.
We should get Mexican food.
Yeah.
Bert,
Like-
not now.
They could have been white people, but if they're poor, that's who you don't like. It's got.
Dude,
No,
I'm
I don't want you to be
obsessed.
racist. I want you to be classist.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm obsessed with this thought, by the way, that no one likes poor people in this country.
Oh,
That
yeah,
I'm
without a doubt.
obsessed with this thought.
Oh no, you're right.
I had this thought when we were talking to, I guess, Ringling Brothers and
Yeah,
Barnum
yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got bummed about that.
Dude, I was so
They
bummed.
treat the elephants like fucking garbage.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm a big. Okay. Can I just say this out loud, and then you quid pro quo me?
Yeah.
So like, it's the sins of our fathers. Like they're like the.
What, the elephants?
Like SeaWorld. Like, what are we gonna like? The thing's
The
already in the
treatments?
fucking thing. Like, what do we
Right.
do with it?
Well, okay, so SeaWorld's
Well,
different because you can't
right.
really release those guys.
You can't release them.
But an elephant
An
you
elephant
can
could have a
put on
pretty
a
good
fucking
life.
elephant farm and an
Yeah.
elephant place.
Yeah,
That is
an
a
I think
elephant
different-
could have a pretty good
that's a
life.
technical term.
Yeah. No, you obviously
yeah.
know
By the
what
way,
you're
my
talking
dad,
about.
my dad's like this. Like, so when do you remember when Opie and Anthony imploded with the
Yeah.
Anthony's thing?
Yeah.
My dad was like hardcore. Like, you know that fucking guy? I go, yeah. He's like, he's a fucking idiot. And I was like, well, he's a nice guy. And he's like, no, you're an idiot for saying he's a nice guy. I go, no, he's not a bad guy. He's like, it's fucking not black people. It's not black people have no problem with fucking violence. It's not black people. It's fucking poor people. It's underprivileged people. Underprivileged people get, he goes, doesn't matter what color you are. When you're poor, sometimes violence is your answer because you don't have any other options. And I was like, that's an interesting concept. But my whole thing about like SeaWorld was like, or not, in Ringling Brothers is like, this may be the only opportunity for an underprivileged child to see something different in the world. Like
Okay. All right. That's an interesting argument.
and that's like, someone was like, this girl said something, and I was like, she's like, it's much better to see these animals in the wild. And I was like, yeah, agreed, totally agreed. And I have that opportunity. I definitely have taken my daughters to swim with sharks in the wild.
Right.
I've taken them. I've been on safari. I've done a lot of stuff, but I had that opportunity for like some kid whose only opportunity is going to be the one field trip he gets to the zoo or to SeaWorld or to. That's his only thing. His mom's. I'm just making this kid up, but his mom's addicted to crack. His dad's not there, and he goes on a field trip to SeaWorld, and then he inspires and he goes, "Oh, there's more than just fucking tennis shoes thrown over a fucking telephone wire. Like, there's more in this world." Like, that's part of me. The other part of me, obviously, is it realizes it's. I saw the documentary too. It was horrible what they did to the fucking whales.
Well, it really is. I mean, and I think that I think that is totally a fair point. I guess it's the. At some point, you have to think about the life of the animal over as well, like with value to it as well.
I agree.
And your point with SeaWorld is one that I think, what their plan is that there will be no more whale captivity, but there are still other animals in captivity that could, and that's the thing with the circus too, is the circus is like active torture to to animals and shit like that.
Very active. Okay, so like they were in Florida, I think, when this happened. The Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, you must get sick of every time something fucking nuts.
I never even knew that was about my state. Like everyone would say that. And I was like, and then it started like, I was like, yeah, man, I'm here in Florida a lot.
Right.
Like Florida's a weird fucking
big
place.
player in the weird game.
Ron Bennington, you guys know Ron Bennington?
No.
Oh my God. I swear to you, all my children, possibly the greatest broadcaster that's ever lived.
Really?
Amazing. He said to me, he lived in Florida for a while, and he goes, yeah, Florida's fucked up. He goes, did you know a lot of guys missing fingers? I go, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Do
you know that's not normal? Most people don't have that.
I said to him, I know 2 dudes that don't have tongues. I'm not fucking around.
How does that happen?
I know a guy named Tongueless Brett and a guy named...
What do you mean?
Like... Fucking Florida is different, man. It just is really, really different.
No.
I can't believe his parents named him Tongueless.
Yeah. Well, time to fulfill my destiny. Snip!
So wait, what were you going to say? What were you going to say about
circus?
Wait, but how did Tongueless Brett lose his tongue?
I don't know. I just know him from Cowhead.
In a finger argument.
So they're down there in Florida. One of the elephants comes out. It's super. It's not doing well, and there's supposed to be there's a law that if an elephant isn't doing well for a certain amount of time, a vet has to come and look at it.
Do you think it would be a kind of a no-brainer rule too?
Right, but they had to make it a law because they weren't doing that. So the vet comes in, and the elephant is clearly fucked up.
Right.
Like there's something wrong with it. It's got diarrhea, like terrible diarrhea.
Well, that'll be fun for the kids to see.
It's super. Well, that's it. It first had diarrhea during a fucking show.
I'd go nuts for that.
I mean, honestly, at this point, that would be the show you'd want to see. That like Wranglers being like, he won't stop shitting. While an elephant just has food poisoning on dirt under a tent. While the ringmaster's stepping in shit. Hey, all right, guys.
Oh, this isn't supposed to happen.
Bring out the clowns.
Clown comes out and slides across the shit.
Who wants to watch the fourth wall be broken and be like, this isn't real. Everybody stop recording.
Clowns, take off your makeup. We're all cleaning up poop.
One of the clowns starts shitting.
We ate the peanuts, too.
Not again. Like, we ate the peanuts, too. We ate the peanuts, too.
So he just comes out.
So the vet gets there, and the elephant starts shitting blood, and the vet's like, "Oh, he's just got a stomach thing," and they send this elephant out.
Vet?
That's the thing. They probably just fucking paid off the vet, right?
Yeah, I would
Some
think.
Florida vet with no tongue.
Has he had Gatorade? He must have drank Gatorade.
Certainly a fucking paid off vet. He's got a stomach problem.
Yeah. He's a Florida vet.
Did he eat any blood?
He's got like no nose, one ear.
Yeah.
3 fingers.
Also, Tongueless Brett doesn't have a tongue anymore.
Tongueless Brett's a real dude, and he is listening to this. I'm certain of it going,
Oh, no, like that.
how much do you want to bet I get an email that says, hey, by the way, Tongueless Brett's died?
Oh, tonguey. They buried him right next to his tongue.
Call him.
Because his tongue had its own funeral.
So what happens
After
with
he got cut
the
off.
elephant?
So the elephant goes out and does a lackadaisical show because it's shitting blood.
Yeah.
And then goes back in and they put it in its fucking pen and it's dead in the morning.
Ugh. Well, you certainly have a
Sounds like
good
a story
ending.
that ends with
Ringling
it's like a
Brothers
chicken-like
Farm and
story.
Bailey Circus.
Yeah, it's got a nice chicken.
Yeah,
twist.
my problem is like I'm not. I think I'm disconnected also from my feelings. Like I think my feelings were as a
That's
child.
very helpful for comedy.
Yeah. Well, I saw in Russia they had bears that rode bicycles.
Wait, what?
They had bears that
Like
ice skated.
that's like a cartoon thing you see. It's real there. How do you
They
have
had-
to
they-
break the will of a bear to get it on a bicycle?
cattle prod.
Oh fuck!
Cattle prod. And they had them in their hands.
No,
Dude, can I tell you what they did? This will blow you away. They had like a 2x4. Like a 15-foot 2x4, and they would have the bear stand on it like a balancing beam, and they'd throw it 10 feet in the air, and it would land on the fucking 2x4.
because if it didn't, yeah. If it
And I
doesn't, do you know how it learned to do that? 5 million fucking.
And I'll be dead honest with you. When I saw that, my heart was broken, and I was like, "That is not cool."
No.
But
Hell of a
pretty
trick.
amazing show. I mean, when you see a bear ice skating, you're like, "Shut the! I can barely ice skate." How the fuck do you teach a bear to ice skate?
He landed it. He landed the spin.
Just it, but it was
The problem with elephants is they're one of the smartest animals.
Yeah.
They have families, like extended families, and when a family
They're like
member
dolphins
dies, they
on land.
mourn. Yeah, they mourn like shit. Like they're way advanced over most animals. So
Yeah.
the fact that they're fucked up like that is.
I have a problem.
brutal.
I've always had a problem with. I've had a genuine inherent problem with animals in captivity. Because you go to the zoo and you look at the lion and you're like,
my
that's not
God.
what a lion is.
Yeah.
No, the LA Zoo. Remember that hippo that died finally, but it was like in a swimming pool, and you're like, "How's your life, dude?"
Yeah.
I've seen lions
Madness.
in the wild, and lions in the wild lay different than lions in captivity.
Yeah.
You know, it's a like you see the lions at the LA Zoo and they're like
They're not enjoying anything.
they've been roofied.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you see lions in the wild,
They're kicking
and they
it.
are. You can see it in their eyes. You can see the life in their eyes.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing when you go to a brothel and then you go to like
Can I
the
wait,
dogs.
Chili's.
Can I tell you? I swam with
Chili's.
dolphins. Like I swam with dolphins in Mexico. It's like I think one of the only places you could do this. But I got in the water with them.
Was your daughter like, I don't like Mexican dolphins?
No, no. It was
no, you just don't like poor dolphins.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't like porpoises. It was in Mexico, and it was for Travel Channel, and they were like, hey, you're going to get in the tank with dolphins. You can ride them, like stand on their backs and stuff, hold
Right.
their fins. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, it was really interesting because I thought I had a very quick connection with them because I was like, they look like strippers. Like they feel like strippers.
Right.
That energy that you get in a strip club
Yeah.
where it's disconnected.
Yeah.
These fucking poor dolphins had that energy. And I was just like, man, I don't feel really cool with this. And
Yeah.
They're like, it's fine. And they did the thing where they put their beaks on your feet and they get you to stand up. They take off. And I was like, it was really cool. It was fun, but it was like,
Not
at the same
natural.
time, I was like, I think my heart's broken a little bit. Like I think I lost something. And then I swam with dolphins in Hawaii in the open water.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my life, where you get in bottlenose dolphins, or I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And you're just diving down, and they're fucking racing around you, and you're like, oh my God, you have an energy that's totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're sharing an experience potentially
so
as
then
well.
let's-
Yeah.
Well, they're
What-
playing.
let's-
When you see the dolphins in Hawaii, you can't believe how much they're just playing and having fun.
Yeah.
So then, okay, be very real about this. Is there any positivity to any animal ever in captivity?
Well,
Is there any benefit?
Yes, if they are going extinct.
I would say that. I mean, I think that they're like you can't. I think your point before is true. Like potentially, some kid goes to the zoo, he sees a monkey in a cage, and he's obsessed with monkeys, and then he goes on to be Jane Goodall, and that's
Right.
potentially something that happens. Somebody is super inspired by it, but outside of that, the mean quality of everyone's life, if you lumped it into a pile, is much less. when those animals are held captive. I believe. You
think
can
see how bummed they are when you go to a zoo. It's like,
and that guilt you're talking about I think that's something that a lot of people feel. It's it's hard to engage in that shit. It's hard to a lot of times look at that stuff and go, you know what? Like, I like looking at a lion, but that's just fucked up,
Yeah.
And like it is I think it's a hard. Again, it's like everything else. It's like when the circus started, nobody gave a shit.
Oh fuck no!
You were seeing animals up close.
People in cages. I mean, that's what a circus.
Oh yeah,
these things all started as
Think
freak
about
shows. They used to just put a black guy in a cage and be like, "There's a pygmy," because he was black. Like, they did the craziest fucking shit.
Wow,
horrendous, dude. Oda Benga. That was the.
I remember that. We
names.
talked about it on the show. Yeah,
yeah. They put a guy, a lady or a guy. Well, they just put him in a cage and we're like, "There's a black." And people would come out and be like, "Check out the black guy."
Yeah,
like fucking nuts, dude.
What? I mean, part of you says then. I mean, part of me feels like I'm cool with absolutes. Like the thing I get hung up on is people who don't have. Like, people who, it seems like they cut the corners for whatever their opinion is. So, like, I'm cool. I'm totally cool letting animals be animals.
Yeah.
But we got to go across the board then, I think. Right?
We got to free people?
No, just get rid of all zoos. Like, I'm
get
cool.
rid of houses?
To me, that would make sense. I mean,
like,
to me.
Like, don't split hairs and go, you can't have a killer whale.
Yeah.
But you can have, like, monkeys. Well, the fucking monkeys are as important as killer whales.
I think you're right. I mean, that to me, I think that's true.
Or,
I mean, you can't, like...
But I wonder if there is a
middle ground?
Well, like a fucking big safari place. Like, I wonder if there's a way to create a gigantic zoo
that has
tons of land.
Yeah.
And even though they're restricted, because really those animals, a lot of them are pretty territorial, and a lot of times they stick to the same area or they migrate back and forth.
Yeah.
We went to the one in the San Diego Zoo. They have
how's that one? I've never been in the San Diego Zoo. Like, it's really big open space, right?
By the way, fucking lit me up about SeaWorld. We're doing the safari with the girls and our friends, and I said something about. I said, "This is so great." It really is. It's like basically it's a golf course. I think it was a golf course. Yeah. In all honesty, maybe not. But
the Bears play golf.
It looks like a golf course, and it's just all fucking.
The Bears are caddies.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's like
use pitching wedge.
Busch Gardens is fucking pretty amazing.
I've never
one
been
in Tampa.
Yeah.
The animals run free for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean not free, but they get like a couple acres.
Yeah.
And I made a joke about what.
Well, there's also a version of this where that a lot of times that is the way they'll kind of rehabilitate an animal who has been in captivity. It's almost like you go to like a, it's almost like you go under housing before they let you out in the free world.
Like
it's like rehab.
House.
It's like you do rehab, then you go to your halfway house.
One of those.
Yeah, it's the Diaz. But so there would be a way where you could be constantly rehabilitating before you let into the wild and let people sort of watch that version of it.
Can't we do like a bay where we keep killer whales? Like, meaning not keep them, but like the ones that are in captivity now. Can't we release them into like a bay where they have like or something bigger than what they're in?
I don't know.
Potentially the problem with SeaWorld is that like anything, they're not going to say what's really going on because of money. Right, so no matter it's hard to know. I mean, because that does sound like it makes sense, but again, they're like, look, we've got this fucking facility, we got these whales, let's keep the ship, keep the business together.
They're having a really rough time.
Oh, they're done.
But the thing
and Marineland too.
I don't know what that is.
Like Canadian SeaWorld.
Oh yeah. The when I did the tour, the zoo tour with the girls, where we did it's like a safari in San Diego, I made a joke about SeaWorld, and this fucking lady lit me up.
Really?
Oh shit! A lady did
in front of my children, my wife, our friends, and the other people on the thing. She was like, "You have no idea what you just said. You are ruining. You are the problem with conservation and animals." And I go, "I'm just making a joke." She goes, "No, SeaWorld's done more good for fucking marine biology than anyone." And I was like, I was just making a joke. I'm a comedian. And everyone was uncomfortable. My friends are laughing hysterically. I'm so appalled.
Segura whispered in her ear.
Oh, he's like, hey, But I was making a joke, going like, "Yeah, they should do this with whatever." And she was like, and it turns out, I mean, every zoologist, every marine biologist, every one of those people feels like SeaWorld's good. Like what they've done is good because they've inspired people to work with animals. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't really. I, honestly, and I say this to you guys both. I don't think I need to say this, but like, I don't really have a whale in this fight. In that, I don't really give a fuck. I don't really go to SeaWorld anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
I'm sorry.
But it's the same
I can't get past. I don't have a whale in this fight.
Yeah, I don't have a whale in this fight.
Yeah.
But like, I go, like, it's the biggest problem with this country is that if it doesn't affect me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem in this country.
Yeah.
It's like Trump. Everyone's losing their mind.
Totally.
You know what? It doesn't affect 49% of the people. 49% of the people just, they don't go, whatever.
I think you do. I think you're right that most people need to feel an effect of something before they become an activist for it. 100%. That's like that is really true. It always seems strange to me, and this is going to probably sound rude, but when somebody would get a disease, like maybe a famous person or something like that, and they would go to Congress and they talk on behalf of it, and they are a hero. This is not saying that that is not a great thing and that you don't want like more stem cells put towards researching this disease. But the over-embracing of somebody who's got such a vested interest in the breakthrough of this has always been a little like, are we over-embracing? Like, it makes sense.
Can I tell you one of my favorite jokes ever told? Patrice O'Neill.
Oh, boy.
He was like, I'm watching a news the other day, and Michael J. Fox comes on, and he's like talking about Parkinson's. He's standing next to Muhammad Ali trying to outshake the champ. And he goes, is Michael J. Fox up there, and he's talking about Parkinson's. He's like, I'd want one person just to go, hey, man, Michael J. Fox, what about like AIDS and cancer? And I would love Michael J. Fox to go, the problem with AIDS and cancer is I don't have that shit. I got Parkinson's, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he ever put her on a special. I don't know if he ever. I've never seen that joke other than live at the Boston Comedy Club. But I remember, but it's the same thing. It's just, but
you get it. You get it.
Yeah.
If you had that platform, I mean, I totally get it. It is, again, it's really not the person's doing it. It's the reaction to it. It's
okay,
like,
so then let's pull it back for 2 seconds and go, all right, not to but like, say we all agree. Like, my point is, like, when you give an inch, you got to be willing to give up the mile also. So like, if we said to everyone going, all right, let's get rid of SeaWorld, let's get rid of zoos, let's get rid of busch gardens, we'll make natural habitats in this country where these animals can live and they have a great life. And then at what point do you go, hey, by the way, someone's going to say, hey, no more dogs. You're not allowed to have a dog. Like, no more cats. You can't, I don't want, like, ultimately it's going to come down to that. And you're like, and then you go, well, my dog lives a really great life. Yeah, but you're its master.
Yeah.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
have you ever seen it in a field open?
Yeah.
Allowed to go away?
I bet my dog would love a field.
Your dog's name isn't even what you think it is.
My dog doesn't. I mean, I love my dog, but like, I can't imagine they're really through the roof happy about this small backyard. They didn't have a choice in that.
Yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right though. That like you pull that thread eventually. That's what happens. That kind of has been what
happens.
That's kind of what our society is at this point. Is like, you know, the constant figuring out of like what is the acceptable level. But I know for a fact, like my cat doesn't want to go outside. You know, I am 100%. I've took him outside, and he was like, "Buddy, we got it all up there. What the fuck are we doing? There's cars out here. I don't give a shit about the flowers."
I dated a girl who asked me to go on a hike with her, and she brought her cat on a leash.
What?
In Runyon Canyon.
Wait. No heads up?
No heads up.
Oh, my God.
I was like, I am breaking up with her immediately.
She may as well shit in the hotel room.
Can you imagine taking a cat on a walk in Runyon Canyon?
Why the fuck? First of all, every dog is like, holy fuck!
We could not get, you know, that first corner where you couldn't even get past that. I was like, yeah, this is over. I'm gonna go for a hike. I'm gonna get a workout. Good luck.
You and your cat have a good life.
Who the fuck walks a cat?
And
you would walk a cat in Running Canyon.
Well, I would, not without a heads up, and never with like a serious look. Like I would never be like, okay, we've heard the joke. I'd be like, let's keep going. This cat's walking up a mountain.
When I had a cat, and when I first moved here, I had a cat, and I tried to take it. I was like, I wonder if it would like to go outside, and so I put it on like a little leash, and I put it, and it just lowered down to the floor and just sat there. It's like, I'm not moving.
Well, yeah, I live near Dodger Stadium. My cat like got to the stairs, and I was like, he's never seen stairs. He was like, what the fuck is the floor? I was like, oh god, this is not going to be an easy journey.
Oh, the floor's disappearing.
Yeah, and then he sees rocks and flowers and hears cars.
That is a great joke. I love that. He's never seen stairs.
Never.
Why would he?
He was genuinely like, well, we better turn around. I don't think this is going to work out for either one of us.
To him, it's like being on mushrooms. Like, what the fuck is happening out here?
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah,
we had Marine World near where I lived. That was our one in the north.
I think I've
Marine
been
World.
there.
And in high school, we went there on a trip, and me and a buddy took mushrooms.
Yeah.
So a high school trip, and at one point,
that can't be good.
At one point, I'm sitting there, and we're looking at the dolphins, and me and my buddy are just fucking staring at the dolphins, and the whole class is there, and then we're just staring, and all of a sudden, a girl comes over and taps us on the shoulder, and she's like, "Hey, we've been gone for 20 minutes." I'm like, "Okay."
I thought the dolphin said that, man.
Wait, what's the place in? I want to say it's San Francisco. It's a theme park. It might be Marine World. I did an episode there.
It's near San Francisco,
and they have white lions.
Oh shit, that might be Marine World. I don't know. That might be Marine World.
Might be Marine World. So we do a show with white lions and.
What do you mean you do a show?
No, white tigers. White tigers.
Oh, white tiger. What do you mean you do a show?
I do a TV show. Just like I'm doing rides and we're fucking around.
Yeah.
Okay. We do a segment with white tigers, and
aren't they super fucking rare? Like
yes.
Did Siegfried and Roy?
You'd think that would have put the end to everything with that, right?
Yeah.
But
that guy's
didn't
really
they?
Fucked up. Is he dead now?
I think he's talk about a disappearing act. You don't hear about those two anymore. I really like. That was it. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, we're good. We had a run of 10,000 shows without an actual attack. Siegfried, he's done. Let's just say he's done.
Man, that thing fucked him up.
Yeah.
Fucked him up.
I've worked with everything.
And if you were at the show, somebody must have been like, boy, they're really reinventing themselves, huh?
Oh, wow, this is real.
I want to see how he gets up after, it's a real attack. Oh, my God, I feel nauseous.
Oh, man, wouldn't that have been the best show to be at, though?
On mushrooms, you're there with your buddy.
God.
Oh, bad night.
It would have been really, like, I always say that, like, there's two types of people. There's people that look at planes flying in the sky and go, oh, I want to travel. And then there's people like me that go, I wonder if it's going to explode.
Yeah.
I always look at a plane and I go, man, it'd be weird to see one of those things crash.
Really
Just
would.
explode right there. Just, you're like, shut the fuck
whoa.
up.
I did that with my mind.
You look at the next one.
Honey, I'm a government weapon.
Anyway, we did this thing with white tigers, and they were like, we've had a lot of fun. Bert, can you do the read? So I turn around to do the read, and I turn my back on the tiger, and it attacks me.
Oh, shit.
It attacks.
Well, that's on you. You
Hold
don't
on.
turn your back on a tiger. You disrespecting motherfucker.
No shit. But it attacked. There's a cage. I should clarify. There's a cage and a pool of water in between us.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like messing with the tiger. I'm playing with it. We're all like, there's a cage in between us and a big pool of water. And I just turned my back, and immediately my wife watched it, and it hunkered down.
Oh, my
and
God.
creeped and leapt at the cage to kill me.
Oh, my God.
And got onto the cage, splashed me. I got covered in water, but leapt onto the cage. It would have killed me in a fucking heartbeat. And they were like, you don't ever turn your back on a tiger. And did you know that in India they have masks that they wear on the back of their heads when they walk through?
Oh, that's why they do that?
Yeah, so that tigers don't attack them.
Whoa. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't even know about the mask thing.
Dude, we went through...
I've just seen like pictures of it. Didn't understand what was happening.
We went through Vietnam. They have tigers in Vietnam, and they're like, if you see a tiger, face it. You never turn your back on a tiger.
Can you wink at him?
I'd be like, I woke up my daughter one time. We were in Hawaii. We were in Maui, and I had
traveling
to leave.
motherfucker.
I travel a lot, and so I'm getting ready. I had to leave that day to go to DC to do a show at the DC Improv. I had to leave at noon. It was when my car was picking me up, and so it's like 6 a.m. and Isla's the daughter with the fly ball, and I go, hey, we're in bed together. I go, hey, let's wake up. Let's go snorkeling. Let's go snorkeling. The sun's coming up. Let's go snorkeling. And she goes, leave me alone. And I go, hey, I got to leave at noon today. Let's me and you get up right now. We'll go down. We'll find a sea turtle. We'll follow it around. Just me and you. Don't tell Mom. Don't tell Georgia. Just me and you. And she looks at me in the eyes, rolls over, looks me in the eyes, goes, you're tugging on a tiger's tail right now. I was like, fuck. I was like, holy shit.
Okay. All right.
All right, that's a good description.
Okay.
Tugging on a tiger's tail.
Well, okay.
Like that, yeah, now that I fought tigers.
Can I just say there's fucking nothing better than swimming with turtles? Is it the best?
Man, and this goes back, I think, maybe to what we're all saying about, like, animals being free. It really is a real magical moment.
Yeah.
When you're sharing a habitat with an animal and you're just being, hey, man, I just want to chill.
Yeah, gaining an animal's trust in that situation, you're like, yeah, it does. You're like, good. I'm glad that this happened.
Yeah.
I picked it. We went to, when we were in Australia.
Where did you go in Australia, Sydney?
All over.
We went everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys did a tour there?
Yeah,
We've done a couple. Have we been 2 tours there?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We got a really big audience down there.
How Siri just popped up. She's like, serious? Huh?
I don't even remember that question
How
you asked
great
her.
is Australia? I love Australia.
It's amazing.
Australia's the best, man.
And we went to this place called Rottnest Island, it's called, which the name is gorgeous. But it's basically a place where quokkas habitate. Quokkas, which are like...
I'll show them a picture.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They're these little marsupials.
Yeah.
They honestly look like Alvin and the Chipmunks if you were to bring them into real life.
Yeah.
And so they're these cute little things, but they're real skittish. So you always try to get like selfies with them, and it really, like, now the island is kind of stupid because it's a bunch of people just on their hands and knees trying to get the right picture so they can fuck off.
Yeah.
But there's one, like, we walked around for a while, and then there was just one that we walked up to right when we were leaving.
Oh my god!
And
I wish I had the picture of that. I can't find.
They run away, and this one, he's letting me like pet his head, and he's just sort of chilling. And his buddies are kind of like, hey, bud, chill. What are you okay, Clark? And I'm just kind of rubbing his head. And then I start rubbing his back. And then he starts kind of falling asleep on my finger a little. Like I have my other hand under his chin. He's falling asleep. And so Dave's getting pictures. And Dave's like, can I swap in? And I'm like, well, let's give it a whirl. You know, so we kind of try to Indiana Jones it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's the
they
cutest
really
animal.
look like Alvin and the
Oh,
Chipmunks.
it's fucking
adorable.
crazy, but they're big and they're just.
So he's got his hand on it, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to pick this dude up, and so Dave lets it go, and I just, like, in a moment of just like, let's go for it, I pick up this little thing, and I have him in my arms, and he's starting to sleep, and these people are walking by, these Australian people, and they're like, well, I've never seen anything like that before, you know? Hey, what do you know there, Quokka? And it was this fucking amazing moment, and I kept talking about it. I was like, this is crazy, you know, like that, feeling that connection and also validating that animal's trust. And then we go to the cafeteria because we have like 4 hours to
having
kill.
A beer, having a meal.
We go up, we order, and I'm just euphoric. And I go to this lady, I go, you know, I just picked up a quokka. And I held it in my arms for like 20 minutes and fell asleep. And she goes, Quokka, they're riddled with disease. I was like, my God, what?
They've got salmonella.
Salmonella and chlamydia. I was like, sorry? I'm sorry, what was the last part? And then I was washing my arms in the bathroom like a goddamn surgeon.
He washed himself like 12 times.
I took my shirt off. I did. I took my shirt off and I wore only my sweater because I was, and then like the next half of the day was me just waiting to take this ferry back so that I could just shower chlamydia and salmonella off me. They're riddled with disease. They're riddled with disease.
Oh,
God. It was amazing.
What a great moment.
It was, I was busting, gushing.
Oh, how great is that?
It was amazing.
Oh, I'm fucking crying right now.
We really ran the spectrum of emotion in like 15 minutes. I was like, I'm dying? What, ma'am?
The thing I love about Australia is that, like, their racism is like just regular. It's like matter of fact. Like one of the things that my crew found very racist is that all the signs are written for dangerous shit are written in English and in German.
Right.
Because Germans die at an alarming rate in Australia. And they were just like, we're losing a lot of Germans.
What does the sign sound?
It's like crocodiles in German. Crocodiles, fuckface. Stop jumping off these cliffs. There's crocodiles in here. I love it. It's just very matter of fact. Like, listen, we're losing German.
All right, you know what? It sounds crazy. Put German translations under everything.
I said to them, we had a guide with us, and I go, how come all the signs are written in German too? And they're like, oh, Germans die all the time here. I go, are you serious? I go, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the most endangered species are German here.
Yeah.
We've got a little area where they can roam freely.
We lose half the Germans.
Yeah. How crazy is that though? Like, but have you guys been to? I think it's called Cons.
No, I don't think so.
It's like the top of Australia.
Oh no,
top
we haven't
right,
gone up to the top
Yeah.
yet.
Dude, that's where crocodiles are hardcore.
Oh really?
Yeah, like they said to us, they're like, don't go to the beach at night because you'll literally be walking and then a crocodile will just eat you.
Ugh.
Fucking Australia's terrifying that way.
Oh, like animal and bug wise, Australia is like the stuff. I mean, yeah, knock on wood, but like the spiders. This isn't wood, is it?
The spiders.
This is what, metal?
Yeah.
I'll find wood
Spiders
later.
Are fucking
Crazy, and they're like comfortable with it. They're like, oh, that's cool. I saw this video of someone flushing their toilet before they went to the toilet, and like halfway through the flush, this monster just is like in the like a thing that would like clog your toilet, like is just swimming in it. I was like, oh god.
They've got, I think, 10 of the world's 20 deadliest snakes in
yeah.
Australia.
No, it's all things poisonous down there.
It's really insane that like it almost like makes a reason of why Australians are such big badasses.
Yeah.
It's like they've just survived.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
great whites, crocodiles, poison snakes, spiders. I'll tell you, and I love Australia, but I'll tell you what I really love is New Zealand.
We haven't been.
We
We're
haven't been
going there
there yet.
next.
Sweet. So is like you guys go there and do like live podcasts and stuff?
Yeah, we
Oh,
toured
yeah.
the podcast there.
Really?
Yeah, the last time we went there, we did.
like in fucking Australia. How do I get to Australia?
We sold out a 1,600 seat theater in
Yeah, we were
Sydney.
doing.
What?
Yeah. It's
I
not.
think we sold
like,
1,800.
to anyone listening, I don't think they understand the weight of that. That's a big, really
We
big
played a
fucking
fucking
deal.
theater the Stones played at.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And we did Jumpin' Jack Flash better. I said it.
So wait, so you guys fly down and then you do like a run of shows?
We would go.
Yeah.
We would do basically a city a day or every other day, and we would just fly. And we were just flying and hitting, venue after venue
How many
over
venues
there.
did you guys hit? Like 4 or 5?
No, we
10?
probably did 7-ish, maybe
7, I think.
maybe more,
8,
maybe 8.
That is
It's
that is
awesome.
the coolest thing I think I've ever heard, especially about podcasting in general.
Oh my God.
Is that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It's really I mean, as you know, but there is, it's super weird and amazing, like any of this shit is. But it
Yeah.
is one of those things where you are sitting there going like, this is really fucking crazy.
So
I mean, it's a made up thing.
the way it happened was I used to do the podcast with Greg Behrendt.
Yeah.
And do you know Will Anderson?
I don't know.
Okay, so-
I'm sure I do. I apologize, Will, if I don't. But I'm drunk. So.
So yeah, he's an Australian comic.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
So he does a podcast with his friend, and someone was like, who listened to both of them, was like, "There's an Australian podcast like your guys," and we started listening to each other's podcast, and then we started like communicating on Twitter, and then they came here, and we had them on, and then I became pretty good friends with Will, and then Will's friend got booked on a TV show that's very wholesome, and they didn't want him to do the podcast because it was kind of dirty. So I would fill in a lot. So at the point I didn't know how big Will was, but we went down to do our old podcast, Walk in the Room in Australia, because our numbers started going up because of Will. And when I got there, I was like, "Oh, he's a huge star."
Yeah, that is
he's
a
a
testament to the
gigantic
man that he
comic.
doesn't tell you that.
Yeah,
That's
you have no
It's
idea.
the coolest thing about being American. Oh my God! It's the coolest thing about being an American comic is sometimes you'll get into a DM with someone. And you're like, "Yeah, cool, man. Let's hang out."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh shit, you're fucking.
Oh, yeah.
You're the son of a duke."
yeah, yeah.
I'm doing a podcast. Hopefully, I'm doing this podcast. They were like, hit me up. They're like, I'm going when I go to London. They're like, check out this guy Al Murray. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
I watched him. I was like, he's funny as fuck. That's
Yeah.
all I watched. Is I was like, just watch the video. Didn't look at the number of it. I was like, this guy's funny as fuck. And so I just DM him. I go, hey man, I'll be in London. I want to do a podcast. Definitely. I think you're funny as shit. And he doesn't answer for like a couple days, and then I was like, fuck, that's not gonna work out. And then someone's like, has he not answered? And I was like, oh, I haven't heard from him. And they're like, oh, we need to make this happen. And then I Wikipedia him.
Huge.
This guy's like fucking massive.
Yeah. Really?
It's like Jimmy Carr. You know,
Right.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
Tom Square and I are sitting backstage, and Jimmy Carr comes back, and we're fucking around talking to him. And we're like, yeah, he's a nice guy, whatever. And then we go back, and Tom's like, whoa, have you seen his net worth?
Oh, no, he's huge.
Huge.
And we were like, we thought he was funny, but like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and then we're like, why did he come backstage with us?
Yeah, and then you feel bad about
doing
yourself.
here? Like,
We embarrassed ourselves in front of Jimmy Carr.
I wish we could have known that he was going to be so fucking famous.
Yeah.
We would have been cooler.
Oh, he in England. My mom lives in it. He's massive.
Oh, he's massive.
I mean, he's like, yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah.
It would be the equivalent of like, I'm going to say Louis C.K. That's probably inaccurate. But like Louis C.K. coming back and hanging out backstage with you, and then and you blowing him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being like, it's good, man.
All right. Yeah. Cute.
Yeah. Do you drink?
Anyway,
Or whatever.
All right. Yeah, we're in the middle of somewhere
anyway,
here. pal.
Australia. So I'm
so
sorry.
so we go down there, and me, Greg, and we have Will on.
Is this when Greg got stomach cancer?
No, this is the time before that.
Okay.
So we go down to do our podcast, and we sold out. We decided to do a last-minute combo podcast with the two of our podcasts together, and we sold that out in like 6 minutes. It was like 300 seats, and I was like, what's happening? And we did a show that night, and we walked off, and I looked at the other guys, and I was like, so that was the best thing I've ever done. And they're like, yeah, me too. Like, we all agreed, like you were talking about earlier. You just had this moment where you're like, that's the fucking most amazing thing I've ever been a part of.
But you shared it with people that all agreed on it. Like, we did the End of the World podcast, and I got off stage and go, that's the greatest thing I've ever done. And everyone was like, yeah, that was fun. And I was like, no. Can we all do this again, ever again? And Bert and Stanhope and Rogan are like, yeah, we'll hit you up. And I was like, oh, fuck. I literally, there was a point when I was on that podcast that I was like, I don't know if I belong here. Like, but that is fucking amazing.
Okay, so we do that, and then I'm still doing Walk in the Room, but then I just got tired of fucking talking about myself. So we started doing a podcast together, the Dollop, and the difference between the Dollop and Walk in the Room is, so I have this following down there now, but the Walk in the Room, people couldn't tell the people about it because it was so fucking dirty that people were like, I don't know if I want to tell my friends about this or my family.
Yeah.
But the Dollop, everyone can tell everybody about because that's not offensive. So it just,
you guys realize that you were at the beginning of the turn for podcasting.
it feels that way.
Because
Well, you are too. You know, you're a podcaster, right?
no, but I'm the old guard.
The conversational. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It sucks. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
wish that I had thought forward. Like, but the reason is, and I say this, like, the cool thing is I can borrow from your talent. You know, like, I don't have to, like, like, it's got to be stressful for you guys to, like, every week you got to do the work.
Yeah,
you got to show up. You do the work. Same thing with Burr. I'm that old, like a hybrid of like Rogan, Marin kind of podcast.
Yeah,
where it's very guest specific.
Yeah.
So like this will be a big podcast for me.
Well,
but I would say the difference is I think that you, because you're an established comic, so you have this audience, but also like your podcast is already big. I would say the people that are going to get left behind are the people that now try to come in and start a conversational podcast. Like, you're already established with your conversational podcast.
It's very hard to do what I'm doing now as a podcast. However, I believe that the turn, like, I listened to Karen Kilgariff.
Oh yeah, Karen and Georgia.
Georgia was the best part of this whole fucking story of this. The two is my oldest daughter's name's Georgia.
Oh really?
And I got a email from Brian Baldinger, and he was like, "Hey, I'm dyslexic, so I don't read super great. Mm-hmm. So like, it just said Georgia murder, and that's all I saw."
Oh my god!
And I went, "Huh? Georgia's been murdered?"
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Somebody read this to me.
But that podcast is a fantastic podcast.
Yeah.
It's a reason, like, I don't have a problem promoting shit I like. Like, when I listened to y'all's podcast, I was like, I said it, I want to say 3 podcasts in a row. I was like, this is the podcast you have to check out because it's
thanks.
It's that turn of the corner where it's like every episode's fucking great. Like they're all great. They're not like I've had some mediocre podcasts. And because I'm in a bad mood or I'm not.
Oh yeah, when you're
totally
conversation, but there's been times we've done not great ones. I think.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it's all relative to your own. Yeah.
The other thing is like we can always fall back on the story. The story, if the story is interesting, the comedy doesn't matter as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you guys have the production of a television show. Meaning, like you guys
it's pretty.
You guys have a television show that you could go anywhere with your show. Like
yeah. I mean it is it is. I mean, and truly the way it came about was just very organic. I mean, it was like it wasn't a thing where we planned that I wouldn't know shit and Dave would explain it to me. It was just
you know what happened,
and it wasn't even going to be.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
I had an idea to do this with a different comic every week. And I brought so when the first time I did it with him, I had already this audience in Australia, and from Walking the Room. So the first time I did it with him, I was like,
we just did the first one together
because he was so fucking funny on Tripoli show. I was like, I want to do it to him first, and all my fans were like, "That's the show. Don't get rid of that guy. That's the fucking guy." I was like, "Yeah, no, he's fucking great." And then I just was like, "That's the show."
But it is. I mean, and that it happened fucking so randomly. And that, I mean, which a lot of times is how, very interesting things happen. But it really was. There was just no predetermined shit. We just sat down and we started talking about a topic. And then slowly over the first 8 episodes, you're like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know shit about history.
Yeah.
You love it. Don't tell me what we're going to do before we do it. And let's just go.
We did a podcast, me, Ari, and Steve Arnazisi did a podcast. And very organically, we came up with a podcast idea for Steve about Hear Me That Book.
Where you told me
he doesn't read. So
idea.
it's just comics come on and tell him about a book they read.
That's great.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Steve still hasn't done it.
Right.
But it's like those organic things. Like today on the podcast I did with Tommy, I was like, I want to throw a surprise party for Tosh where 25 of us show up at his house with groceries and we knock on the door and he answers the door and we're like, surprise, we're here to hang out in your mansion.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, that's hilarious. I'll be a part of it. I don't want to organize it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, I'll definitely do that if you want to do that.
Right.
And the whole point is Tosh would not enjoy that.
Right. right.
At all. It is his nightmare. It is his worst fucking. And I'm talking about we're bringing our kids, we're bringing fucking our dogs. It is. And then I get a fucking call and they're like, "Hey, you being serious about this?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm being dead serious about it." And they're like, "Because this could be a really great idea." And then I go, "Oh, it's the organic shit."
Yeah.
Where people go, it is real friends. It is real friends that would show up at his house. It would be a real reaction.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch Todd Glass and Daniel Tosh hang out together.
Right.
And you go, oh, they're real genuine friends.
Yeah.
They're real, And you go, oh, it's organic. Maybe that's why I like your podcast so much is it's real. It's not forced. No one cast you and then then said, you guys need to do this together. Can I give you some notes? What was the notes we were talking about earlier?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what they give you, they always, the amount, totally. I think that we would, that's why podcasting is so fucking great. I mean, it really is because, as you know, as we all know, you get involved in this shit, and really it's almost like the more you lose your passion for something, the more their fingerprints are on it, the more that you kind of lose sight of it, and you're not sure what it is anymore, and if you like it. Nobody tells you shit with a podcast. Advertising is coming around, but there's still not, even if you're on a network, we're on All Things Comedy together. Nobody ever tells any of us what our podcasts should be, what they need. They offer up opportunity, and they want you to thrive.
Yeah.
That is so rare in entertainment, and because podcasting has happened and it's so accessible and anybody can do it, it changes it, and it really does give you a platform to just say whatever the fuck you want.
But why is it this podcast, and I think anyone listening to this can agree, this is what I got into. The fact that none of us have really hung out like this.
Yeah.
But I would very candidly say we've laughed. I have laughed.
Yeah.
The hardest I've laughed in 2 hours straight.
This is a green room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is what we've been doing for fucking ages, right?
Yeah.
We've just been kicking it and making each other laugh. This is what we fucking do.
It's the like the heart of the comic is like we all feel like lucky that we got into the carpool lane.
Yeah.
You know, like there's it's the easy fucking street where it's like we all have the same sensibility. Like I know for a fact, even with like the SeaWorld shit, we all probably have different opinions or different views, but none of us get offended. Like
right.
It is impossible to offend me. Like
yeah, I'm pretty hard to offend.
Well, and that's good. Like the more of that, if something doesn't, you just can't go around getting offended by everything, because then when something is offensive and needs to change, no, it's the boy who cried wolf. So nobody gives a shit. That's what Facebook is. Like whenever I go through Facebook, I never leave feeling full of information. I leave feeling like I wasted 30 minutes scrolling through articles.
Dude,
because
I've talked about that
everything
in therapy.
Yeah,
there's an addiction to just scrolling and just going, what's that?
And so you're just getting like a little bit of every bit of outrage instead of focusing in on like a thing that actually matters.
Yeah.
You're just getting pissed about fuck that, I got to sign this petition or all this shit, when in reality there's big issues that we all probably agree on, but we're just so fractured because we have micro opinions.
No, what podcasts, random question, what podcasts would you like to be on together? Like, what are your favorite podcasts you were like, you know, it'd be really fun is to do this podcast together or separately or individually, but like, I think you guys are so good, like together.
Oh, thanks.
Like,
thanks.
Like, what podcast would you guys like to be on that you guys have never done?
I mean, I think Rogan, like we talked about earlier, but I think Rogan would be fun.
I mean, that to me, like that, like, yeah, I like a good amount of podcasts, but to me, the one that I'm like focused on listening to, that I really am like trying to absorb it's almost like listening to a documentary with Rogan at times, and you don't want to miss a beat of it. That to me is one where it's just very informative always. You know, it's either funny as shit and informative, or it's just super, super informative. And
did you hear the one with Boss Rutan?
Yeah.
Where they talked about the guy put the cue ball in his mouth and they had to break his teeth out?
What?
Dude.
Oh my God.
Boss Rutan podcast with Rogan is the best podcast. That new one is the best podcast I've ever heard. The one with him and Callan is great, but like the fucking Boss Rutan is a fucking beast. The thing I always say about Rogan, and I'm sure I've told him this. If I haven't, then I'm saying it now. When Chris Rock did his first special, the one that changed his career, Cornell West, invited him to have dinner with him every Sunday night.
Wow.
And he said, I think you're a really great voice in comedy, and I think in order to do that, you should be hanging out with the most brilliant minds. We do this dinner. It's like a Sunday conversation where it's just the greatest minds come to my house and we have dinner. I'd like to invite you. So for like a year, Chris Rock
crazy.
Just hung out with these brilliant minds. And he said he didn't speak. He just listened.
Right.
And I thought this. I'm sure he didn't say this, but he felt it turned him into a Renaissance man. Like really just listening to great minds.
Yeah.
Dude, that is what fucking Rogan's doing.
Yeah.
Is he takes anything he's interested in, anything that's opposing, anything that's like in his angle, fighters, comics, nutritionalists, everything. He's just like, bring it all in, and he drinks it in. He is, without a doubt, and I always told him, I was like, you're different than everyone else. He's like, I'm the same. If you think you're different, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm like, I think I'm fucking different. Yeah. But he is like, I was like, if you don't think you're different, then what the fuck do I think I am?
Shit.
Yeah.
A lot's going on over here right now, Joe.
I got that Mickey Mantle gene. Come on, Joe. And so, but like, I feel like a better person listening to that podcast.
Yeah.
I would love to hear you guys on Rogan.
Well, I think there's times when I walk away from it and I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try this. I'm going to think about this. I'm going to watch more on this person.
The thing about
I'm going to learn about Wim Hof.
Even if you don't agree,
amazing.
Even if you don't agree with it, it still makes you think about stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, which is not what you get from a lot of podcasts.
And what you're saying too,
things.
you know, when he'll bring on, you know, people who I fundamentally disagree with on so much shit, but it's you can never. it's better to hear the context of why someone thinks that over
It's
just
so
judge
much-
their thoughts.
That is the fuck. I wish I didn't step on what you said because that is the most brilliant fucking statement. I'd rather say it again.
You want to you want to know the context of the thoughts, not just the thoughts. So why?
Yes.
So when someone says to you, "I'm opposed to gay marriage," I don't agree with you. I think that's wrong. I think everybody should be married. But instead of just shutting that down, why do you think that? Oh, well, that's interesting. I'd never heard of this guy. I'd never heard of this shit. Well, that formed your opinion, and now instead of just fundamentally like getting pissed at you, we can have a conversation. He has these conversations that give you the backstory behind beliefs.
It really is. It really is. I mean, no one, everyone listening to this already knows it. But like, I would love to hear you guys on Rogan.
I'd
I would love to hear you guys on Rogan. I would love to. There's a lot of podcasts. You two have such a great energy together. Like
It's the cocaine.
fucking, I wish.
He does coke. I do
I
meth.
wish.
I wish. I wish I didn't have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
I
All
don't,
right, we're at a point right now.
Oh, boy.
Where I'll ask you: do we wrap this up, or do I piss and make another cocktail, and we do another 45 minutes?
It's up to you,
guys.
David.
It's up to you
I
guys.
can stick. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
All right, all right. Let's
I gotta piss,
pause.
too.
Yeah, let's piss.
All right.
Oh, we're
I'm gonna
pissing.
either you don't want a cocktail, or
I'm good.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should stop it.
6 a.m.
You do?
Yeah, my kid. Fucking every Wednesday wakes up at 6 a.m.
All right, piss.
Yeah.
My wife leaves early.
Stop it.
Thank you.
So, I'm back recording. So, by the way, Dave, I meant to tell you this. This Tulsa book I bought because of. Oh, shut up! You vape.
It's because he vapes because he used to smoke. It's his way.
What is that? Is that cotton candy?
I don't even know what it is. I just have a buddy who
What's
gives.
the smell?
Here.
What, you got a connection for your vapes?
It's candy of some nature.
It does smell like
It's
cotton
candy,
candy.
yeah.
It's cotton candy. You're a fucking 37-year-old man smoking cotton candy.
Look, dreams really do come true.
Dude, you told me I could smoke cotton candy as a kid.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking that earlier. What I was thinking earlier was
Fucking be
if
lighting up.
emissions, like if this car was in front of me and it was just juicing me with like black smoke, and one of those cars that shouldn't have passed emissions.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that smelled like candy,
But what-
I'd be less rubbed.
But you know what's crazy is that in a weird way, cotton candy's going to smell like poison to children.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
They're going to go, oh, it's vape.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it
Like
fucks it
we
up.
knew
The
what
ripple
poison
of that
smelled like.
Yeah,
Like, because we were like, oh, that's fucking fumes.
yeah, yeah.
And then one day our kids will smell cotton candy and be like, oh,
Yeah, gross.
that's like popcorn lung.
I'm not eating vape.
How long have you been vaping?
Like about a year and a
Just
half.
smoke cigarettes, right?
No, I don't think there's. Cigarettes make me sick.
Do you feel healthier now?
Yeah, and I don't. I don't use it like crazily. Like cigarettes.
Yeah, you have it. It's been
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
and I'm like embarrassed by it. I feel like shame
You should
with it,
be.
as I should.
It's such a. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like a weird.
Yeah.
Like vape.
No, it's fucking stupid. I
It's
mean,
stupid. And if you ever want to have an amazingly weird experience and feel like you're in the fifth element, go into a vape store. Because
Really?
they encourage like chilling out and like like vaping with each other,
hanging at the vape.
hanging at the vape. But I went in there. A buddy does
Vape
just
sounds
give
like
me.
a theater in San Francisco.
You guys have to go to the vape. They do amazing guerrilla theater at the vape. You must hit that. But like there were these dudes competing over blowing smoke rings,
Fuck off.
and it was like the.
I saw this online.
It was like the hardest 2 minutes and 30 seconds, like waiting for your debit to clear I've ever had. I was like, hurry! I don't want to catch douche.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So one night we're in at some casino, and the guy goes, "They're giving out free cigarettes, cigarette pens."
Oh,
And then I go, "Why wouldn't I introduce a little nicotine into my life tonight?"
Sure, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. What is this going to hurt?
yeah.
And who? It's not a. Why would they be giving away for free? Just awesome and nice of them. It's not like.
Are they fairies?
Yeah.
Do they have wings?
And I started hitting it, and I could not breathe in the middle of the night, like asleep.
Really?
Oh, really?
I woke up in the middle of the night and I could not breathe, and I went, "Holy fuck!" Like I mean,
Wow.
Yeah. Well, to me, like when I would, and this is I'm not advocating pro vaping, but personally, with like I would never be on record as that. Get that on my bumper.
Wait.
I'm going to get him a shirt that says pro vape.
Pro vape.
Yeah. I love vape jokes.
Talk to me about vaping.
Vape culture kills me, man.
Vape culture.
This bro comedy's killing vape culture.
Oh no,
vape isn't funny.
Vape is not funny. I got date vaped.
I don't want to hit. Come on, before I drop you off. No, I had a lovely evening. I said no. Take one hit.
It's like hey, take a hit, man.
Yeah.
It's like cotton candy. What's the big deal?
Yeah, first it's
crazy.
free. But yeah, like I would feel like sick the next day if I smoked cigarettes right now. Like
Really?
they make me feel sick. Like
I miss cigarettes so much.
Oh, dude, me and my buddy talk about it all the time. Like, when we have this moment where I turn on the news and you're gonna see the footage of the meteor and the president talking.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna say, "Can you believe that?" to me, and see me across the street buying Marlboro Mediums. Like the first thing I'll do, and then I'll be back. I'll be like, "It's crazy. I'm not smoking 2 at a time."
When did you start smoking?
Young, like I probably had my first cigarette when I was probably like 10.
What?
Yeah,
Are
or
you
11.
fucking
yeah.
kidding me?
Because my family's English, and my cousin, who was like my best friend, was a year older.
You're
But they do
fucking
everything.
So
they
the
do
English
everything.
Were you born in England?
I was born in Wisconsin, but raised by
Nope.
English people.
The English start doing everything way too. They're like, let's start fucking. We're 11.
Well, I'm not kidding you.
like
When
rednecks. It's white people.
I went to England one
No,
time,
you hate poor white people.
which is what my family is.
I'm going to say that
And
might
they-
be a lot of Florida.
Well, yeah,
Poor fucking tongueless Joe never has eaten pussy.
never.
He's never eaten pussy.
Yeah,
Never.
I mean, he might have. It's the only time someone said less teeth when someone's gone down on him. And it's a female. I never thought I'd say this, honey. Less teeth. Brett, less teeth.
That's all. Oh my god.
Did you come? Did you come? Oh, boy.
Wait, this is a real person who will definitely be listening to this.
Is that okay? Is he going to be
a
mad?
real human being.
Is he going to be mad?
No.
Okay.
What's he going to say to me?
Nothing.
Fuck, man. Like, this has been the most seamless podcast I've ever fucking done.
Good, yeah.
I'm
It's fun.
being serious. Like, it's podcasts like this that make you go, "Oh, this is why you podcast."
Yeah.
There is, that's, like he was talking about Will Anderson before, like that's how I really met, like Will too, was like talking through a microphone. So you start your relationship or your friendship with someone like talking and recording it. It's pretty weird and interesting.
There's a lot of people where I go, like Owen Benjamin. I only know Owen basically. I mean, we've hung out it before, but like really is podcasting.
Yeah.
It's like when you come over, Shane Moss, like just doing like a 2-hour, 3-hour podcast with him, and you're like Owen did the first time he did my podcast. I was blown away at how untethered he was.
He is untethered. That's a good word for Owen.
And he's very smart. Like
Really smart.
I'd almost argue autistic. Like,
Well, he was raised
that
by
smart.
very intelligent teachers.
Like he is.
So he's like a master of debate.
He really is.
He's very good at devil's advocating things
And he does.
making you go, oh, yeah, I get it like that.
Yeah. But like Shane Moss, another guy.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I hated about this, Dave, I think you've probably been on both sides of this, is that we got split up in comedy with this alt and
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
bro
on both
comic, I
sides.
guess is what you'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But I don't think that any of us are that.
Right.
But the extremes of us made the fence.
Yeah,
I totally
that's
agree.
true.
Like the extremes of us, the guys that had no act, that couldn't do an alt room and be conversational, fucking hated the alt guys. And then the alt people who aren't funny and couldn't cross over fucking hated the bros.
Yeah.
But it was like this. It was like, and it's like, I mean, like you don't say anything, but I'll say handedly, I think I watched Jen Kirkman's special. I fucking loved it.
I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's
And
good.
Jen would be someone that you could consider alt. Fantastic. And I talked to another quote unquote bro comic who was like, I fucking loved her special.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I have
Yeah,
to say
she's
this
been
also,
working it hard for fucking a few
She
years.
kills it, man.
Yeah.
She really does.
And I will say this, and I hope that she hears this. She looked absolutely gorgeous. That is a sidebar to this.
Yeah.
But like so gorgeous in that special. And I was like, God damn it, man. Like how cool for her to go up, murder and be gorgeous. Like, I'm just fat. That's all I'll get stuck with.
No,
It's like,
no, you have your own sort of pretty thinking. Plus, you sound like a fucking horse, which is super cool.
I can do really good horse impressions. It's like chicken.
You guys seen Horse? He just murdered Montreal, 6-figure deal.
Oh,
Welcome to the barn.
yeah, but like, there's a lot of like, it stinks because there are a lot of really great comics on both sides of the fence. And you just work different clubs. You know, like, I think UCB is a fun club to do. I'll tell you what, one of my favorite places in the world to work that I don't work at all is Meltdown.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love that place.
Yeah, every time I've done a show there, I've enjoyed it.
So
It's
great in the
pretty great.
stores. I think anyone could argue, but the store is the greatest place to do comedy right now
I've
in the
still
world.
not gone to the store. I've done a couple sets there, but I've never. Last
I'm
time,
not in the mix
every time
there
I
either.
tried to get in there, they've been like, "It's just a lot of fucking people." Even when I was on Marin, I was like, "Now I
too.
could try and get in there." Like, there's a lot
Me
of
too.
people.
I was there. I was like that for a while, and they were like, I think Bill and Al tried to get me past. I've tried to get past like probably 5 times there.
Shut up.
Are you not past there?
I'm past there.
You
now.
are, yeah, okay.
But like, it was just one of those things that I was like, it was a couple things that one I was talking to my therapist. I was like, I really want to work the store, and he was like, just so you know, if you want to work the store, that means you have to work the store.
Yeah.
That means you have to show up there.
Yeah.
You have to be there.
Right.
You have to work the store.
Yeah.
You can't just go, I work the store, but not go there.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I never thought about it that way. And I just was like, that's right. And then I was like, you know what? I got to put my ego aside, and I've got to do whatever spots they offer me and just be around a lot. And it's what I like to do anyway, but it in a weird way, it was fucking with my ego. Like, it was making me feel less about
I think
myself.
that is when I before Adam was there. And
Adam's the greatest thing that ever happened to the store.
Adam is
That's what
Adam's
I've
the
heard.
greatest thing that
Adam
ever
is-
happened to the store. No questions asked. Other than Mitzi Shore, who
Yeah.
obviously is the precursor to this. Adam.
Well, because and the proof is in the way the store has had this huge resurgence. I mean, it's just
had
very
every single
evident.
Every show
Yeah.
that since he's been there, every show sells out.
It's an Instagram I follow that always makes me go like, it looks like everyone's having a lot of fun over there. Because it really is.
You're on the road and you look at that and you're like, wow. So you're telling me that you just put on a $240,000 show,
Yeah.
technically, for nothing.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Rogan, D'Elia, Bert,
Yeah.
fucking Pauly
It's
Shore,
nuts.
fucking David Spade, Ron White. That was your lineup?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Judd Apatow, Daniel Tosh, Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Fucking shut
Yeah.
do you
Murderers.
Realize, do you realize the fucking... I mean, everyone realizes it, but that... The price point on that show is through the fucking...
I've never actually thought of it like that, but that is crazy. It really is a testament to what it's like in LA to be a fucking comic.
Yeah.
I mean, that, like... How do you make the argument that you belong on those lineups?
I don't. I
Like,
can't.
You
I
can't.
can't.
You can't
I go,
be like,
I go, hey, thank you for having me on. I
Yeah.
really appreciate this.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm on those shows, I go, shut up. Andrew Dice Clay, Roseanne Barr, Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? These are people that I know what I can tell you what Tom Segura makes, and I can tell you that you couldn't get that lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be selling stadiums.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fucking
And these are people who were trying to get are asking for these spots.
Yeah,
Want to
Chris
perform
Rock,
there.
Dave Chappelle.
Ask.
And you go, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've run into so many people that are like, hey, I'm going to LA, I'm going to the store. So many people.
Yeah.
And they're
Wow,
like,
really?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The majority of people that are at the store, in my opinion, these days, are people flying in from different states to see comedy.
Wow.
It is like,
Yeah.
it's really, I'm very grateful that unpassed me, but like, even still, I can't, like I had a day where I got bumped by Judd Apatow and Daniel Tosh and Louis C.K.
Yeah.
and everyone's like, hey man, I'm sorry. I was like, you do not have to say sorry to me.
You saw those names, right?
I get it. Like, I am fucking well aware of where I am in my career. I'm the guy that's willing to stick around till 1 o'clock to get on.
Yeah.
They all got other shit to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like, that's the coolest thing about the store is just that, But I don't know what my whole point was. But you've been on both sides of the fence, I think.
Yeah.
On all sides of the fence.
I think I was always, I did both things I've always sort of done that. Yeah, I've never understood you're definitely right. There's dudes who can't do both, and those are the ones who can't. But most comics can adapt to both those rooms and work them both and do it, and it's fine. Like the vast majority. When
you first are like you hear alt room and you're like, what is that? I was just like, what does that even mean? Like, it took me a minute to understand that you can adapt your material. You know what I mean? Like, you think of it as almost this crazy thing, and it really isn't.
Right.
Most people can.
You got to lose as a bro comic
for sure.
To do it, like you can't say fat.
You're
chick.
aware.
Yeah. Well, there's some guys that are completely unaware.
Yes, there absolutely are.
It could be argued I might be one of those guys. I've definitely said things in at the UCB that I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Technically.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you want out of me?
I remember Pete Holmes. I said fat chick at UCB, and Pete Holmes like, it's like saying Negro. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. Like very fucking aggressive. The best part of this whole argument, and I love Pete obviously, but the best part of this argument was he was like, you can't say fat chick. And I go, I still fuck one. And he goes,
no.
What? And he goes, you can't say that. You say, the best thing about having sex with a girl with a little more milkshake is the breakfast in the morning. I go, no one sticks around. I fucking love Pete. I love Pete.
He's like, Bert, maybe I just can't reach you right now.
Yeah. I am not that guy. I'm so bad at fucking... Sometimes I'm super bad
being
at
honest.
Yeah, like I just go, what?
Yeah.
I am the gorilla in the cage.
But you're being honest. I mean, to me, I'm like, if someone is being honest, that's their right to be honest. I don't know. There's just something very strange about the idea that, language is monitored so
Dude,
well.
there was when I was in New York, when we were in New York at the same time, I guess, right?
I was there in 96 to 2000.
Yeah. We were there at the same time.
We must have fucking seen each other.
Do you
all
remember
the time
a guy named Doug Signet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Doug Signet was. I think I'm saying his name right. I'm almost certain he used to tour with Robert Schimmel.
Okay.
Very funny comic, but like hardcore Boston Southie, like real,
right.
Like, and this is what I love about comedy. You couldn't shake it out of him,
right.
So he's on stage at the Boston Comedy Club, and there's 4 black chicks in the front row, and they're kind of fucking with him, making fun of him, and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh, you couldn't handle us," and just without realizing what he said, he goes, "I always wanted to fuck a colored chick," and the place loses their fucking mind,
of course,
and he goes, "What? In a good way, like I want to fuck a colored chick." He didn't realize that what he was saying was he thought he was like, "What? No.
I'm very progressive.
Yeah, the colored ones are the ones I want.
I'm excited to be with one."
We were fucking howling back, and then he got off. He goes, "That went well," and I was like, "Doug,
no,
you realize what you said, right?" And he was like, "Well, no, like Shelto Boston, Shelto Boston,
fucking that's so Boston.
Lost my mind.
It's so Boston."
There was a dude. It was like those moments. It was like when you're laughing for another reason. There was a comic. I don't know this guy. I'm sure he's not doing it anymore. I'm certain he's not doing it anymore. But he was like hardcore Italian. And someone said something. Someone said something like, "Are you from Chelsea?" And he goes, "I'm not a faggot or a Mexican." And everyone went, "Ooh!" And he goes, "What? I'm a comic." Everyone's like, "No, you're not."
No,
I remember that so distinctly.
Yeah.
He goes, "I'm not a faggot or a Mexican," and everyone was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "What? I'm a comic. It's a joke." And everyone's like, "No, I don't think it is."
I remember the joke part of it.
I saw Mike Epps come off stage one time. It was remember they used to do Sundays at the Boston Comedy Club. It was all all black.
Yeah.
So Mike Epps comes off stage, and Mike Epps is about to go on stage, and someone comes off and they bomb, and they're like this, like reeling their head, like God damn, like fucking fuck, and Mike was not paying attention. And he turned around, and the guy was like, "Ha!" And he just came at Mike wrong, and Mike just knocked him out.
Whoa. Shut the fuck up.
God. He just called it, and I went, "Oh!" And the guy went down, and Mike's like, what happened? And like walked down the stairs to the bag it in and just disappeared. And I was like, holy shit.
That's the worst bomb. That's the worst bombing you could ever have.
He just had so much energy coming off, like fuck, and he just caught Mike at the wrong time. Mike's like, God, and I was like, whoa. Mike Epps, I used to party with him a lot.
Don't sneak up on Mike Epps.
No bombing in front of Mike.
So when you lived in New York, where were you working?
The cellar a lot. I was there I followed Attell for 2 years for 5 nights a fucking week.
What was that? He used to go on at 11:10 or something, or 12:10.
Yeah, and then I was going on 11:30.
God damn it!
Yeah, and then I did the comic strip a lot. Those 2 clubs mostly.
Never did the comic strip. Is that Lucian?
Yeah,
I went up and auditioned for Lucian.
Oh fuck!
And he told me I didn't have what it takes to be in the business.
Yeah, he was just such a piece of shit.
Did you get you? Correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is so bad. But you do the audition, then you go into a real tiny closet.
Yeah,
right?
You go into his office, and you sit there, and he explains to you why he's not going to pass you. He sits me down, and he goes, "Well, I already have a Tom Agna." And I was like, "Do you know who Tom Agna is? The most deadpan, fucking genius comic."
Yeah.
He wrote Conan's monologues for the first 2 years, just fucking genius. But just deadpan joke telling, and I'm like, I don't even know.
I'm not.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It was just such a crazy comparison. And I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. He goes, "So I can't pass you." I'm like, "Wait, what? You have a guy that's nothing like me?" So he just categorized me. This is fucking hilarious. So he categorizes me as Tom Agna, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know. So I keep trying to get past there. And I used to hang out with Tom Papa and Ian Bagg a lot. We used to kick around. And then, so I was always, because those guys were already passed, so I was there a lot.
Back when Ian was fat.
What?
My favorite Ian Bagg when he was fat.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
big fat.
Really?
Fat.
No.
And wore shorts all fucking winter.
Oh, nice.
Just
love that guy.
I'm Canadian, but what? It's not cold.
Man, he's a guy you can't be around him too long because you start adopting in the way he speaks.
Right.
Entirely.
Totally.
Right.
So I go up to Lucian one day and I go, "Hey man, I want to try and get past it." And he goes, "You're passed. You've been passed for a while." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, I go, "You never told me?" He goes, "No, but you were just around." He never told me I was passed.
So you were just
for 6
toiling.
months or a year, and then I go up to him and go, "Hey man, I want to fucking be seen again." And he goes, "No, you're passed." I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
You have a weird system, sir.
Let
me out of the closet.
Yeah. He told me very candidly I would not make it as a comic.
You were not. He did that to so many fucking people. People who then went on to be big comics. That was his thing. He'd love to do that.
That is the power that it's the cult mentality. Eventually, you're like, it's about me.
Louis Schafer told me that you'll never make it.
Really?
Move back to Tampa.
Punch him right in the neck.
I was like, what?
How did you take it? Were you motivated by it, or was it gutting?
So I'm sure people have heard this. If they haven't, it is kind of interesting. So it was my 26th birthday, and my dad called me to tell me what a piece of shit I was.
That's a great birthday.
Oddly enough, best birthday I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
My dad calls me. I thought he was wishing me happy birthday, and he's like, "You are a piece of shit." That was the first words out of his mouth. I go, it's my birthday. And he was like, I thought you were wishing me happy birthday. He was like, "No, you're an embarrassment. I fucked up. I really fucked up raising you. I'm embarrassed of you. I perjured myself." He kept saying that. He was in court that day, and the judge had said, "How's your son doing?" And my dad said, "Great." And he goes, "I perjured myself."
Oh my god,
that's brutal.
Perjured myself.
What the fuck?
Nobody told you to perjure yourself, Dad.
God, man.
You could have said I was a piece of shit on the stand.
Yeah. I didn't make you perjure.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't want to know. This line of questioning is aggressive.
I'm taking the fifth.
Yeah, I'm taking the fifth. How's your son doing? I'm taking the fifth.
I played the fifth. It's in a case.
And he gave me a very a real beat down verbally of what I was, where my shortcomings were. A lot of it was humility, and white privilege. Ultimately, it was just white privilege. That's all it was, really. And so I said, "How can I fix it?" And he told me, "Go to the Boston Comedy Club and tell them you'll do anything to get on stage." And I go, "That's not how it works," because it wasn't how it worked.
No.
It really wasn't.
No, it's a game.
Yeah, my dad's like, "That's how it works. If you are a poor black kid living in Harlem, that's how it works for that guy. That's how it works for you." He goes, that's what worked for everyone. Everyone accepts humility. And I said, all right. So I went, my 26th birthday, went to the club, went to Louis Schafer, and I was like, hey, I've been hanging out at the club all the time, and I was like, I want to be a comic. Can you please I'd like to get on stage. I'd like to do stand-up comedy. What can I do? I'll do anything. And he said, move back to Florida. And I was like, okay. And so I went home. I drank at the Bag It In that night, or McDougal Ale House. Went up to my apartment, called my dad the next morning. I said, this is what he said. My dad goes, great. Go back tonight, say the same fucking thing. And you'll do that every single night of your life until he gives you an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I went back that night. I did it again. And he was like, ugh, I thought I told you to move back to Tampa. And I was like, that's not an option for me. I'm going to do this every single night. I'm going to be here every single night. You need to give me an opportunity. And he's like, all right, stand out front. If you can bring in 20 people, I'll put you on After Godfrey.
That's Louis Schafer.
Yeah. And so I was like, I get to go on After Godfrey, which, by the way, was a nightmare spot.
Yeah.
But Karen, you remember Karen Bergreen? Karen Bergreen went on. I brought in these 4 Puerto Rican guys, put them up front, and they made her cry. And it was bad. They were bad. I think one guy was going to prison.
Oh,
that's so New York.
And Louis Schafer just hopped off stage, and he was like, hey, no one was there. He's like, you want to be a comic? You're up. And I went up, and I destroyed them. But it was just like probably very borderline racist frat boy shit.
Right.
But it killed in the room.
Right.
And they walked the room. They left the room, and the place went nuts. And then Louis was like, you got a job. You can do this every night as long as you want. And then 6 months later, the Will Smith thing happened. It was a real luck thing.
That happened.
So let's give another side of Louis. I don't want people listening to think that Louis is a nice guy.
Oh, no. Louis, then, the reason I went with Patrice, Rich Voss, and Ben Bailey went to Scotland and did Edinburgh with Louis.
Oh, fuck me. You did what?
Yeah.
Is that where he met the chick he married?
No, he had met her earlier. It's so funny. I don't remember. I remember hanging out with her a lot because she would come over and stay in New York and hang out with Louis. But that is the setup. Like, they started dating. She managed Ed Byrne. Do you remember Ed Byrne? Irish comic.
Yeah.
She managed Ed Byrne. I think that's his name. Ed Burns?
No, that's the name of the actor from
and writer-director.
McMullen.
It's the same name, though, I think.
It is.
It's the same name. She managed him, and she got us into Edinburgh, and then Louis stayed. He stayed there. We went to Edinburgh, and he stayed. He never left? Never left.
Wow.
I'd be interested to have him on a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be
lives
there.
In London. Oh,
that's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so
that's very interesting.
I'm working at the Cellar, 2 years, like I said, and one night I'm
By the
there.
way, I'm going to stop you right now. You have no idea how much I'd pay to go in a time machine to see this story happen in real life. Because knowing Dave the way I know Dave, and knowing Louis the way I know Louis, I can see this being fucking
a mile away.
Epic.
So he's hosting, as he did, and I mean, he's just he's fucking. You can clearly see we're not going to be two guys who got along. Like, I would just give him shit all the time.
You don't know any of his act, do you?
No.
Oh, fuck me.
You like this jacket?
Oh God.
It's Armani-ish.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It went on and on.
Louis Schafer's whole thing was Louis Schafer not gay. Not gay Louis Schafer.
Not gay. I'm not gay.
Beautiful chocolatey man. Beautiful chocolatey black man. Not gay. Not gay. But you, maybe not gay. Not gay. Not gay.
That was the whole thing. So he's hosting.
By the way, Louis Schafer does have one of the funniest moments I've ever seen on stage in my life.
What?
Maybe two of them. Maybe two of them.
Inadvertently, or
it was what was broken about Louis Schafer was the best part of him.
Yeah.
So, like, one is Judy Gold. She's about to bring Judy Gold on stage. And he says, what would you like me to say about you? Very, very over the top. Gay, but not gay.
Right.
That was his whole bit. She goes, what? Nothing. You know what? Just don't, whatever. Just don't hack it up. Don't say anything about my height. So he goes, what can I say about this next lady except for fee, fi, fo, fum? So Second one. I'm gonna have to edit this only because it's so good. So black guy is on stage. I can't because I'm never gonna. Anyway, black guy's on stage and he's like talking about how white guys can't say the N-word. When a white guy says the N-word, it just sounds wrong. You can't say it the way. Like when I say it, it sounds real. It's going on and on and on and on and on. It's an all-black club.
Right.
Oh,
and
God.
Louis Schafer goes on and goes,
Oh, God.
he's like, all right, thank you, good night, and gets off stage. And Louis Schafer says, wow, that was one funny N-word. Like, but says the N-word.
Yeah.
And it's fucking silent. But like those were the best moments of him is that he was not and then he'd come off and he would spiral out. He'd
Spiral out like a fucking crazy
bad,
spiral
like
out.
bad.
Like he'd
but-
lose his mind.
Like one time when I was working the door, I got there, he called me and he goes, I'm not gonna make it to when the show opens, but I'll be there for the beginning of the show, so can you just get the room ready and put on some music or whatever. So I bring like a whole case of CDs and I got like an idiot. I just grab a Richard Pryor CD and I put in Richard Pryor to play. And I'm bringing people. I'm sitting them. They're fucking howling.
Yeah,
laughing.
I'm sure.
And Louis Schafer comes in and he's like, listens and he goes, comes walking outside and he goes, how am I supposed to follow Richard Pryor? And I was like, I never thought of that.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. So wait, I want to hear this story. I apologize.
That's fine. So there's a guy heckling the comic before me. I don't remember who it was. But the guy, whoever couldn't handle it. And so if you're the fucking MC, you go up and you deal with that shit. But Lewis goes up and doesn't do shit. So now I'm like, all right, I got to go up and take care of this. So I go up and I fucking shut the guy down. And then I just keep going after him and the crowd's laughing. And it's one of those deals where everyone's annoyed at a fucking heckler. And I took care of business, which I thought was his job.
Yeah.
So I get off stage and Lewis walks up and apologizes to the heckler on behalf of the club and me.
Oh, my God, Dave. You must have become an animated cartoon.
And so I'm standing back there and I'm fucking rocking. And I'm there with another comic, Ray James.
I know Ray.
Oh, yeah, you know Ray?
Yeah, the little Littell.
Yeah. So
That's what they used to call him.
Little Littell.
So me and Ray we started together in San Francisco, so we've known each other forever. And we're both pretty angry guys at this point. And Lewis walks off, and I go, "What the fuck was that?" And he goes, "What? You were too hard on the guy." I'm like, "He's a fucking heckler. We don't fucking apologize. You don't fucking apologize on my behalf, for the club's behalf." Like I'm just going at him.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, really.
Fucking lying.
But you should have seen your guys' faces when I said he apologized. You both were just like,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely
Apologized.
shocking move.
So then we start arguing, and then him and Ray start arguing, and it gets physical. Like fucking Ray, like he pushes Ray. Ray fucking punches him in the chest, and then it's kind of over. I like stop it, and I'm like, "You're just a fucking piece of shit, Lewis," and we leave. And then the next day, I get a phone call from the owner, Manny, and he's like, "So tell me what happened." And I go, "What? There was the heckler, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "And what else happened?" And I go, "Nothing else happened." He goes, "Did anybody hit anybody?" And I go, "No one hit anybody. Not that I remember. I didn't see anything. No one hit anybody."
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're going to tell me right now, you're saying for sure that no one hit anybody?" I'm like, "Dude, no one hit anybody. Let it go." And I'm like, there's no way this fucking piece of shit went and squealed to the owner. So then...
Oh, boy.
Then all of a sudden we get a call. All comics on deck, and this used to happen every couple of years. Club meeting. All past comics have to be at the club at 3 or 4 or something.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so if Comedy Store was like, hey, all comics need to be there at noon, I'd be like, is the bar open?
Yeah.
The funniest thing
You
is...
mean nude shows? No, Bert. Nude party? Bert.
Someone's in trouble.
the
Can we party during it?
The funniest thing is I'm walking in with the towel. We're walking in together, and he goes, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "Oh, God." So we all sit down, and Manny goes, "So someone in here, there's a situation with a heckler," and he basically told everyone to be nicer to the hecklers.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then he goes, "And somebody lied. Someone in here is a liar." And he calls me out.
He says you?
He calls me out, and he goes, you lied to me. Someone hit somebody, and that person is not here because he's banned from the club. But you lied to me, and the only way you can work here again is if you say you lied and that you're not a man.
Which to Dave Anthony is like being like, have some poison soup.
You lied to me and you're not a man.
The last
he
part
wanted
is...
me to say I'm not a man and I lied to you.
And Dave, knowing you, my guess is those words didn't come out of your mouth.
I just got up and walked out and I never worked there again.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And Attell was like, this. He goes, I've been barred from the club. Everyone's been barred from the club.
Everyone's been barred from that club.
It comes and goes, and
yeah.
you'll be back in 6 months. But I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to fucking, I don't give a shit if he wants me back. I'm not going fucking back because of what he said to me. Fuck him.
There's that Anthony magic.
That's that.
Oh, and then it gets even worse because
I killed him.
No,
because Manny dies, right?
Oh, Jesus! Everyone dies in these stories.
And I'm on the street with Attell in L.A. We're in front of the Improv, and he goes, "You heard Manny died?" I go, "Fuck yes, I did." And he got so fucking mad at me.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was so
because Attell and Manny were close, right?
Yeah, they were close, and I was like, "Fuck yes, he did." I was so fucking. I didn't give a
Jesus!
Shit.
God finally passed him.
I've told this story before, and I'll tell it one more time because I love this story. But like, I got passed at this cellar by Manny. I did a show, and I was with Marin. Manny came up and said, "Manny's like, you know this guy?" Or regardless. Let me don't stop me in this story.
Okay.
So Marin vouches for me and says I'm funny, and then I do my set. I have a really great set, and Manny comes up to me and he's like, "Hey buddy, you did a great show. You can pass here. Call ST whenever you want." I tell the story to Pete Corelli, and he goes, "Manny didn't have an accent." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, he didn't have an accent at all." And I was like, I could have sworn he had
Who the hell passed me? I think a hobo passed me. You can work here anytime you like. I don't know. Bert just kept showing up. Some European said it was fine.
I was high as fuck with Pete, and I tell him the story about getting passed at the cellar, like how it was one of the most pivotal moments of my career. And he just looked at me and goes,
man has an accent.
"Man, he didn't have an accent." And I was like, "Really?"
Yeah, no, Manny was like, "Hey, you want to work here? You got to bring a meatball."
Hey, buddy, what are you doing? You're a funny guy.
First thing you make a breadstick for 2 years, then maybe you get a microphone. Hey, a wise guy, huh?
I give him a little chip of a Xanax.
I give him a little bite of one, a little shave.
Those were the fucking best times of my life. I wish I could go back to being like 26 years old and hanging out at the cellar, going doing Boston, doing your set, and then going to cellar and hanging out and like having beers with Geraldo.
Dude, we would drink till fucking we Kettle of Fish. You ever go there?
Yeah, of course.
We used to go to the fucking Kettle, and then we knew them, so they would close the doors and let us keep drinking until fucking.
That's run by people from Milwaukee, which explains
really?
this.
I wonder
Yeah,
why we didn't party. I mean, we seemed like we would have been right up the
I'm
alley.
sure we.
you might just remember him with an accent. It might be that.
But I remember you came up to me like, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, Bert.
I'm a David Anthony.
You were going to meet me back in L.A., but we met before, huh?
twirling my mustache.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
I had a really great moment. You know, I always say ignore whatever I say because my memory is so bad. But I had a really interesting moment when I was working the door right before I got my deal. Jordan Rubin, Judah Friedlander, and Ben Bailey took me to. I think it was Kettlefish, maybe. That was on Third, right?
Yeah.
Took me there, and they sat me down, and they bought me a beer, and I was on antibiotics at the time. Small detail, and they were like, "Hey, you got to stop working the door." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "It's a fucking waste of your time.
Yep.
People are going to see you as someone that isn't a comic."
Right.
And I was like, "Really?" And they're like, yeah, you got to stop. And then I ended up moving to L.A. right after that.
Yeah.
But it was a really, I look back, to this day, I will, like, I can call Bobby Kelly who was, I was just at the door. I didn't know anyone. No one was really my friend. But, like, Bobby Kelly was always at the door, and he was always, hanging out. I'd just hang out. Donnell Rollins, Judah, all these guys. Like, I call Bobby when I have problems, and I can talk to him like a friend. Mm-hmm. It's a weird connection you get when you do stand-up.
Yeah. No, totally.
I said to my wife one time, she goes, some show got picked up or something, and I was like, she goes, you must be really proud. We're driving, I can tell you where we were. Do you know that mixed martial arts? You have to live right around here to know this, but there's like a mixed martial arts place on Laurel Canyon and Moore Park.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it looks like a punching bag store almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're driving right by that, and my wife goes, you must be really proud of this. And in an instant, I thought, the only thing I'm proud of is the fact that I'm a comedian. That I have a group of guys and girls and women that you've earned it with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
there's something.
It's a big difference to have earned it. Yeah, it means something.
It means so much to me.
I think in a way, maybe why there is a quick connection with comics is because if someone's there, you know that they've been through a lot of shit to be there.
Yeah.
And that's almost an experience that's so lonely in its own way at the beginning, and then maybe at the end that just gives you an instant connection with someone because you know that they're suckers for pain and they've gone through it too. And you're both here to have a good time and not... The other thing I find that's pretty amazing is that I don't ever feel very competitive with comics on it. You never on a show, you don't feel like...
feel that, yeah.
You're never like, I want to do the bet. You're like...
I did when I started out. But
but eventually you're like, there's enough, and it's the natural, the timing of it all. It's all very random in a way.
I would say, and this is a weird thing, but I would credit that to a little bit, and hear me out, but to Louie and Bill and Joe and guys like and Marin who are like, hey man, it's not about murdering, it's about working on new stuff.
Yeah.
There was a period of time, you guys know this period of time in LA where it was just about murdering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember coming out here for the first time and seeing Dane and going, I had never seen anyone in New York that didn't bomb a little bit.
Yeah.
I just didn't see that. And I was like, he kills every fucking time.
Yeah.
And then that became the across the board. It was like everyone murders.
Yeah.
And then that created a laziness.
That does,
Totally.
It was about pussy comedy. Like getting pussy.
Yeah.
Doing comedy to get pussy. And then there was this this move of like Louie and Bill, Dave Attell always. Dave Attell, man, and I say this in the most respectful way in the world, Dave Attell always bombed a little bit.
Always.
Because he was always trying stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I would watch, like I said, I went after him. It was like he was trying to do 20 minutes every fucking night.
I mean, that's just
do you remember,
insane.
I almost want to say I guarantee you'll remember this. Do you remember there was a period of time where he was trying to figure out a joke about hitting someone on the head with a hammer?
Yes.
Like, do you remember that?
Yes.
Like he must have worked this joke 19 different ways, and he could and every time I was at the cellar, he's like, you know the weird thing about hitting someone in the head with a hammer? When you come up behind someone with a hammer, like, it was always about a hammer. And I was like, man, this is not fucking working. Almost to the point where when I see him, I go, hey, man, you ever figure that hammerhead joke? He always had this joke. And I was like, wow. But then you'd have these moments where, like, it was real brilliance. I remember one time, tell me if you remember this time. This is so specific. He was on stage and he was getting heckled by a guy with 2 hooked hands.
Oh my god!
Oh, no, I wasn't.
If I had Attell's number, I'd call him. And I remember Attell just being like looking up to the skies, like, "How do I get out of this?"
Yeah.
And the guy was heckling him, and he was hammered. And Dave's like, "Okay, you're getting a pass on this one." Like, it was really. I am not. And my memory is shit, but I remember that. 2 hooked hands. He's like, "What are you gonna say?" And like, nothing.
Nothing. I'm going to ask you to again be quiet, sir.
One time.
Who I respect.
Just take one of your. Never mind.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. It is such a weird.
The ultimate Dave Attell moment for me was we're at the cellar and he's on stage, he's doing his acting, and a woman stands up and just starts walking to the bathroom, and he's in the middle of a joke, and he goes, "Save some," and then goes back to the joke. Like, it was just such a little aside.
Save some.
But right before there's a punchline, save some. It was like I fucking fell out of my fucking chair.
I walked maybe 5 days into comedy. I walk down the cellar, me and Dimitri Martin. Dimitri goes, I'm going to go back to the back corner table. I'm going to sit down. I'll save you a spot. I said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I walk that little row to the bathroom, and Dave Attell's on stage, and he goes, and he sees me in the Hawaiian shirt. He goes, only two things wear Hawaiian shirts, faggots and party animals.
Oh, my God.
Pick which one you are. And I go, I'm a party animal. And he goes, man, that's what I thought.
He is genius.
And I have to say this. I have to say this only because I have to say this. I did some casino, and he was doing a show with Kevin Hart, Sarah Silverman, and him. It was the three of them. And they sold out, I want to say, like 20,000 seats.
Wow.
And I was doing the club, and I was maybe selling 50, 75 tops.
Yeah.
And Attell, of course, before my set, comes over to, like, say hi.
Yeah.
Just to, like, he's got 20,000 sold out, and he just stops by to say I wasn't there, and he was like, "Hey, please tell Bert I came by to say hi." That
just a good guy.
No, he's always been the nicest guy.
Dude, he did that when I was in New York at Gotham. He came in, dropped in to say hi, and I was on stage, and then went back to the DJ booth and said, "Tell Bert I came by to say hi." Like, just, and he just knows it's. I mean, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's just he's a great guy, but it means so much to me. Like, he was my hero, man. Like he still is. He still is massively my hero.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, obviously, you look at my career, I've definitely fucking patterned it after his. Like, there's a clear parallel with my drinking and his drinking. And, like, it was like, what a fucking amazing. I've wanted to try to get him on my podcast so many times, but he's, it's like.
Yeah.
He is amazing. I mean, that truly, like, that is a guy that, every comic is like, that guy is unbelievable, and anybody who you show his shit to is like, that guy is unbelievable.
There's a lot of guys like that, and I'll say this about, like, maybe we phase out the ones that suck. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Well, yes, to some extent.
I mean, if you're 45, you're still doing comedy, chances are you're pretty good.
Well, you would hope so.
Like, I mean, like,
but everyone who's in their 40s and doing comedy has earned it and is funny. Like, the not funny guys are gone at that point.
Stop. Do you remember Buddy Bolton?
Yeah.
He was a dick to me.
Buddy Bolton?
There were a lot of guys that were dicks that there's a lot of guys I've forgotten too. I'll never forget what Dane did to me one time.
Wait, what?
So
by the way, be careful. Have you seen Dane? He is yoked.
Ripped to shit.
Oh, is he really?
Yoked.
Yeah. Well,
I said it to Segura. Oh, I shouldn't say this. Never mind. Keep going. I go, I don't know what's gayer, Dane's photos on Instagrams or the fact that we're tweeting them back and forth to each other. Every time Dane posts a picture, me and Segura screen grab him and send him like, "Oh my God, look at how great he looks."
Look at him, he's beautiful.
Fucking,
all right?
He is fucking yoked right now.
Really?
Yoked.
I mean,
it's Chappelle, man.
Interesting choice.
Chappelle's yoked, huh?
Dude.
Chappelle is?
I want to hear this Dane story, but Chappelle, so I'm at the Dayton Funny Bone one night, and Chappelle has clearly been working out. And he walks in, and I don't recognize him. He's while I'm getting paid. And, obviously, to those of you who don't know, but when you get paid, it's a very intimate moment. It's you and the general manager, usually, or you and the manager. No one's allowed in the room. They kick everyone out. I'm getting paid. Chappelle walks in. And I, like, whatever I am. I am whatever I am. I can't deny it. But, like, I see this black dude walk in the middle. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy from the kitchen walking into my... I'm getting paid. Like, I'm not thinking it's going to be Dave Chappelle.
Right.
I just see a black dude walk in, and I'm the only black guys you see at the Dayton Funny Bone, or a lot of times, often are the guys in the kitchen. And I go,
because it's Florida and it's
racist. I go, what the fuck, man? And I see a Chappelle. It's like seeing a great white shark, and I've seen a great white shark. It is impressive. I'm like, oh my God, you're Dave Chappelle. And he was like, and he just fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Man. And was so genuinely a comic.
Yeah.
And like he just was talking about he's having a hard time writing material. man, it's so fucking hard coming up with material. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't I'm Dave Chappelle.
Right.
I have millions of dollars. I'm so much better than you. He was just one comic talking to another comic.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid. I don't give a like. Ultimately, I don't give a fuck. Whatever your fucking $5,000 guarantee is,
right?
Does not. I'm not impressed. I don't care. He was just a comic talking to a comic, and it was like I was blown the fuck away.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. Dane, I want to hear the Dane story.
Oh, right. So he is about to do one of the late night shows, and he's running his set.
Yeah.
He does a joke, and I'm like, well, Tom Rhodes has that exact joke, and Tom Rhodes has done that joke on television.
Yeah.
So the guy on stage might want to know that.
Yeah.
Because he's about to do the same fucking joke. So I'm standing there, and he gets off stage, and I go, hey, man, just so you know, Tom Rhodes already did that exact joke on whatever show at the time. I go, on this show. And he looks at me, and he pats me on the head, and he walks out.
Jesus, Dave, you really are giving a couple stories tonight where all I can see is smoke coming out of you.
I know.
I mean, Pat.
Now, ordinarily, I would have fucking decked him. Or
Hold
at the
on.
very least, screamed at him.
That is, I don't know whose side I'm on. I mean, that is such.
I kind of want to give it to Dane.
That is such an amazing move. That is so
next level.
That like it's putting the pat in patronizing. He's patting you.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And he walked out. Tap, 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 bye-bye.
See you later, R2-D2.
Hey, that bunny talks.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, my God.
Your face when he laughed.
I was so stunned that I couldn't do anything.
Oh, God.
That might be the new fucking move.
That's how
that
fucking
is
crazy
dynamite.
it was. It was so fucking crazy
Oh
they'd
my
done it that I was
God.
just
Your
stunned.
wires were like crossed. You're like,
I was like, what is happening?
Dane Cook, where is he? God damn it! He just patted my head.
Little R2-D2, his head spinning around.
Oh, my God.
Just a pat.
Patted
that's
me on the fucking head.
amazing.
Oh, I'll never forget
Genius.
it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
That's why whenever people go, no, Dane's all right, I go, no, he's not.
You know,
He's not.
Dane's a really interesting guy. I knew him before I think all this bad stuff happened in his life. I think I'm not certain. I can't say this. I don't really hang out with Dane, but like I think he's a lot better. But than he was. Like I remember one time I was like, when I was around him when we were younger, sometimes it was tough to be around him because he was like, you know, it was like he was really hungry.
Yeah, he was super hungry.
And then one day I saw him. I hung out with him. It was when he got really famous, and he just seemed very calm. And I go, you seem really grounded. And he was like, well, you know, losing both your parents and $13 million will do that to you. And I was like, oh wow, I forgot you're a human also.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Sometimes it's like people,
and went through a crazy experience even beyond that. I mean, his like, yeah. I mean that there's really no handbook on how to like handle a huge rise quickly that then shows people's darker side.
it goes back to what you were saying about like I would say and subtract the conversation about Dane out of this, but I bet it would have been different had he been 40 and all this happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
It's like people want to take down. I want to say it's like America. We were talking about Creed.
Yeah.
It's like there's something wrong with America that we won't allow things to be great. Like we want to take down anything.
The first instinct is to hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be very honest. Dane, when I first watched Dane, I was like, God damn it, I need to do more of that. Like that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like watching a caveman make fire. I was like,
Yeah.
how is he not bombing? How is he not bombing?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't figure out he's not bombing. And for a fact, I know we were both in the same circle at the time that there were a lot of guys that copied his style.
Oh, fuck yeah. It was the
I
thing.
mean, that was like the thing. And
Yeah.
I would argue to say there are still guys copying his style working today.
I agree.
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
And Dane was the guy that came out with that style. Like that style of the hands and the fucking I'm driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I to this day, the most hacky joke I had a joke about it was not stolen, but the I was like I had a joke, I didn't know how to write it. Me and Patrice were on a plane and the flight attendant cut me off. But she was stumbling on her words to cut me off. We were flying to Scotland. I said, "Can I get another beer?" And she goes, "You know what? Actually, sir, can I?" And I took my finger and I put it to her lips and I went, "Shh."
Oh, my God.
And Patrice lost his fucking mind. Lost his fucking mind. And I tried to tell it on stage in Scotland, and he goes, "Nah." The next morning we were sitting there, and he's like, "It doesn't work with a stewardess because it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
He's like, "You should make it a cop." And I was like, "Okay." And so I tried telling it again. And it just didn't work. And then I laid in bed and I went, and this, it would say whatever you want to say about me, but I went, how would Dave Attell tell the joke? Mm-hmm. And my setup and punch for that joke, and you can find it online, is, you know what cops hate? When you touch their faces. Is that not Attell?
Yeah.
It's Attell.
It's Attell.
And but then I mean, this is what a hack I was, is I moved to LA and I had that setup punch. And then I watched Dane, and I was like, you know what you do? You know what you do? You're driving down the street, and you're driving.
Right.
Cop comes up your window.
Right.
Don't, like, and I just stole from Dane.
Right.
I stole from both of them so that I could tell a joke, so I didn't know how to tell a joke.
Right.
And you got to grow and figure out how to tell a joke. But I was like, fuck it, man. I gotta figure out this business. I don't know how to tell a joke.
Yeah.
But that fucking, there were so many people stole from that guy. Like, stole his essence.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know
but
that's...
you know what's funny? If you watch Greg Behrendt,
yeah.
Dane stole Greg's essence.
Wait, can I tell you something?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I remember my wife had never seen, so we were good friends with Greg, but my wife, she'd seen Greg a million times. She'd never seen Dane Cook, and Dane Cook hosted Saturday Night Live. And I was like, let's just watch his fucking monologue. And he's doing it, and she looks at me and she goes, he's fucking doing Greg.
Wow.
Like, this is Greg.
Greg is a real original. Like, meaning, like, I feel like when I watch Greg, it's really his voice.
Yes.
And one of the things that really bums me out, I don't know if Greg knows this or not, but, like, I had a joke that I told him my hour special that was very similar to one of the ones he tells in a story, that I love the story. It was about daughters. My joke is I have two daughters. Georgia's 12, blonde hair, blue eyes, real smart, and I got another one.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a joke similar to that.
Yeah.
But I already told him my special. And so when I heard his joke, I went, oh, I have a joke. I already told it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's no point in going up to him and making it uncomfortable and going
Right.
like, hey, Greg, I told a joke like that. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
But then we ended up doing a show together in Montreal, and I told the joke, and I'd already heard him tell the joke a number of times. And I did it in Montreal because I was bombing or whatever, and then I brought him on stage, and I went, oh, and he gave me this weird look, and I was like, oh, I would never steal.
Yeah.
But it's so similar.
Yeah.
Because he's got the same relationship with his daughters, I think.
Right.
But I always felt guilty about that. I should probably talk to him about it, but I guess I just did.
Well, reach out and hopefully he'll reply. Unlike some people.
Just send him this podcast.
Hey, Greg.
How many hours in does he have to get?
You remember the time code.
By the way, this is a pretty epic podcast.
What are we at?
Right now, I think we're at like 4 hours.
No.
3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Wow.
You know, by the way, all that means to my fans is this will get. I'll just be real because I'm drunk. This will get 250,000 downloads first week.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah,
That's all right.
that's a big.
Jeez.
That's a big podcast. For me.
Yeah.
And by my fans, and you'll see it in the thing. They'll
Right.
all reply right now, and they'll go, "He's right." Like if it's an hour, they fucking pass.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Because why? Because they know that you weren't having a good time?
A lot of times. They're like,
But that sort of goes to the point of what you were saying before. How this is your podcast is talking to people that that's a barometer of.
You interest me more than having sex with my wife.
Whoa.
That's weird because I'm more into having sex with your wife.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Pat his head, Bert. Pat his head and go inside.
No, this is the sweet spot right now. Someone on my podcast has hit pause and seen how much more time we did, and they've gotten excited.
Right.
This is like, I'm telling you when I say I know when I do good podcasts.
Right.
This is one of the better ones I've ever done. The one I did with Tommy Segura today was pretty fucking amazing. We called Bill Burr, and Bill was not happy about being put on the podcast immediately.
That's awesome. That sounds pretty good.
He was like, is this how the business works? Like, dude, Bill is such a fucking interesting guy. I bring him. I invite him over one day to do a podcast. Me, him, and Tom. My 200th episode. I said, we'll have cigars, we'll have some whiskey, we'll have a good time. He comes over and he sees the mic, and I hit record, and he goes, "The fuck is this?"
Oh my God.
I go, "It's a podcast." You can hear it. And he goes, "Oh, so now we're just leveraging our friendship to exceed in this business?" And I go, "No." And I look at Tom, I go, "It was clear that this was going to be a podcast, right?" And Tom's like, yeah. And Bill's like, "Oh, fucking, so I guess we're doing a podcast." I go, "We're totally doing a podcast." But Bill's one of those guys that will call you up and go, like, "Let's hang out. No microphones, no nothing. I just need to be around people." And you have those great, like, I really say this honestly, but he's got one of those great fucking minds.
Yeah.
Like
oh my God. Well, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, in the limited times I've hung out with him, I am like, wow, your mind does function in this way where it processes things differently and it comes out.
Dollop?
No, we talked.
He wants to come on. We just haven't had a
we're trying to figure it out.
There's a few things he's interested in, and the Dollop's one of them.
I think that from listening to him on Rogan and shit. I mean, I definitely am like I did one of the All Things Comedy podcasts at the Comedy Store, and Al was sort of saying like what the Dollop was. And Bill was like, "What's one of the craziest things you've said on there?" And I was like, and just randomly just blurted out about the lobotomy. There was this guy the guy who came up with lobotomies. It's this insane story, but eventually culture was so fine with lobotomies, he was like putting on lobotomy shows, and he had like a golden pick, and he drove a lobotomobile. And Berlin Ford, he goes, "Shut the fuck up." And I was like, "No, that is what it is." And he was very interested. I was like, "Come on, man."
Have you heard him on the End of the World podcast?
No. Amazing. Yeah. Okay.
There's 2 times in my life that I would say, surrealness happened.
Yeah.
So like one time we did a goddamn comedy jam at the Roxy, and it's me and it's a bunch of people, but me and Burr on the thing,
right?
And I'm flying in only to do the show, and then I'm flying back out on the red eye. So like I'm just in for like 5 hours tops. I've been drinking. I drink on planes, so I land. I go straight to the Roxy, and Bill's warming up, and then he goes, "Hey, like, let's go get a drink over at the Rainbow Room." And I was like, "Okay." So we go over to the Rainbow Room. We get a Jameson on the rocks, double Jameson on the rocks, and me and Tom are going through the fat shaming stuff, and he goes, "It looks like you're taking on water." I said, "What?" And he goes, "I don't know. With this fat shaming shit, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look healthy. Like, it seems like you're taking on water." And I go, "Yeah, it's kind of bothering me." And he starts talking to me about shame, like in a very real friend way.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, man, what he's saying right now is so funny. Like,
right.
And I want to tell him, this should be in your act, but I don't say anything. And then he stops and he goes, ugh. By the way, no one share this with Bill because this is a special moment for me. But he goes, "I can't believe I'm having drinks with the machine." and it really means a lot to me. Then we go to the Roxy, and everything he just talked to me about, he does on stage, and it fucking murders.
Yeah.
It murders, and I go, I just witnessed that. Like, I witnessed that personally.
Right.
That was a special moment I had. I shouldn't talk about it out loud. That's fucking brilliant. Fucking destroys. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
The machine.
Oh, dude.
That is amazing.
It was the greatest, it was the greatest little small moment you have in your life where you're like, I don't know.
Having drinks with the machine.
When he was on Marin, so we were hanging out all day, and we would just talk, and it's hard to describe because we've hung around with so many other comics, but I've never seen someone in conversations turn everything into
It's a different perspective.
He just turns everything into a brilliant bit.
Yeah.
Like he just in conversation, he finds the thing that is fucking hilarious.
The problem that you've never thought of with it. The ocean was a fine thing.
It's just incredible.
And then he talks about the ocean, and you're like, the ocean is terrifying. Why have I not been scared of the ocean? Yeah. The ocean is a jungle that you can't see. I mean, that's this joke he had, and he said it, and I was like, this is so right. It's insane.
Dude, he is, and he doesn't like hearing this, but like one of the better minds I know. Like I know some really great minds. I think we all do. But like, man, to watch his work. Did you see him and Sarah Tiana get into it?
No.
The End of the World. Sarah Tiana, I love Sarah Tiana.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. And she stands up for what she believes in, as does Morgan Murphy. But man, they decided to argue with Bill Burr.
I would not want to do that.
And I said to them at the beginning, why would you ever argue with a guy whose whole act is based on looking at both sides of the fence, finding the most ridiculous point of view, and then arguing it backwards.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, man, it did not turn out well for Sarah Tiana.
Oh, man.
She, so badly that I tweeted her that time, and she's like, I guess you just think I'm a cunt or something like that. And I go, what? She goes, I don't know. Everyone's just calling me a cunt. I go, I never said this. She goes, well, that's all I'm hearing online. Because, obviously, army, like the army of dudes that identify with Bill.
Yeah.
That look at Sarah for arguing with Bill and are like, how dare you?
Right.
You don't argue with the king. God damn it.
Yeah.
But like, and then Stanhope got on Bill's side. Oh, there was a moment. It was pretty amazing to watch.
I do want to hear that.
It was like being at like a couples retreat and watching two people fight and then Oprah jumping in. Like it was so fucking good. It was. I'll tell you, it was pretty magical. It was like one of the better times that I was like, I kept going, don't do this, like in my head, but. Sierra. I keep saying Sierra.
You're combining Sarah Tiana into one. Tiana.
She should change her name. All right, I'm pretty hammered. We've done.
That is the best out.
I really am pretty drunk. I'm shocked.
That's great.
I started drinking this morning at 9.
Because of flying.
Did you sleep?
Right.
No.
You haven't slept.
Had a cigar.
Oh, then that's like having a nap.
I had a pizza, so I got pizza.
Oh no, those are both like having a nap.
Yeah, I got pizza for me and my daughters. And I have not eaten unhealthy at all, except last night with buns. We had prime rib. But I've been eating healthy at all, and I definitely haven't had pizza, and I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've earned it. It's been over a month that I've been on a diet. I have a piece of pizza, and I choked in the kitchen.
What?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Why?
You're such a fucking pussy.
And my daughters were there. And
do you think because you were
nervous about you guys? Yeah, no.
You think it's because we were coming over?
Yeah, I think so.
It's okay, Bert. You can eat still.
Hey.
Bert hasn't eaten since you guys left. He won't eat.
But what happened was I choked. I took a bite of pizza, and the cheese was like super.
If you haven't done it for a while and you're not used to it, it's fucking gnarly.
It really is. This sounds crazy to say, but it's really hard to eat pizza. Like I had a really hard time getting it, and I choked. And my daughters were in there. I'm not even fucking around. I pulled pizza out of my throat with my hand, and my daughters saw me, and then I was like, I can't believe this just fucking happened. And you guys are on your way, and I go, I'm gonna make myself a really stiff cocktail. So I made a 32-ounce vodka and soda.
Yeah.
And I was like, I freaked out, and I haven't eaten because of it, because it really scared the shit out of me.
Because you had to rip pizza out of your esophagus.
No,
I pulled it out of my throat. It was crazy.
Once you start eating healthy, you realize how fucked up everything. When you try to go back,
dude.
So I eat really healthy now too, and I took my kid down to Santa Monica Pier this weekend. And I was fucking starving, and I was like, God, I should have eaten before I got here. This is just all shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you want? He goes, I want a hot dog. So I get him a hot dog, and I order 2, and I'm like, all right. And I put it in my mouth, and I bite it, and I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I was like, this is the worst. Because I haven't had anything, like I've just been eating super fucking healthy for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is horrendous.
It's insane to me because part of me goes, like, I had that problem last night. I started choking last night, and I wonder if my body is like rejecting things that it doesn't want. Because, all I do, this diet that I did was super unhealthy, but all I did was I do a kale juice for breakfast. I'd maybe do scrambled eggs or like eggs. Eggs were cool with me, and then lean protein and greens and vodka sodas.
Right.
But like, I have never choked like that before, ever. Like, it was stuck in my throat.
Right.
I had to reach down with my hand, and my daughter saw it, and they were like, my daughter, after the fact, patted me on the back, like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Stop it.
Daddy's not gross anymore."
Can I go back to walking in and you and Mom doing it, please?
You think I'll still have time to fuck her?
She's going to be in therapy when
Bert's question.
She's going to be in therapy when she's 30, and then he pulled the pizza out of his mouth.
Dude, I'm not even fucking around. It was a foot long of string.
Oh.
I had to pull it out of my throat.
Fuck.
And so I'm starving right now, but I'm like, I don't know what, I don't know. I talked to Dr. Drew about it because I was like, I think I have anorexia. I was eating under 1,000 calories, which is very little.
Yeah, it's very little.
Oh, that's that's not, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, well, it was a bet. And so.
Was a bet. But, a great bet.
His kidneys shut down.
It was a great bet.
Yeah.
It did a lot for my career. If you want to see my Google Trends, I'm spiking.
Yeah. That's great, though.
By the way, I want to get rid of my podcast and just do a podcast with you guys. This has been the most seamless. When you guys go to Australia, can I open for you?
Yes.
I can help sell some tickets. Like,
sure.
Right? Like, I'm sure I got a few fans in Australia.
Yeah.
Probably exact fans you guys have. I'm probably identical.
We were here anyway.
Anyone that is a fan of mine is probably already a fan of your guys.
Don't touch Bert. He's riddled with disease.
Oh. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. This has been...
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Honestly,
fun.
thank you for plugging the podcast. Thank you for having us on.
I love what you guys do. I think it
and
really
likewise,
is great.
dude, truly. So,
Thanks,
I
man.
really do think it's great, and I'm
and you're gonna be our guest, and the one we're gonna do it. February 6th.
Yeah, February 6th.
Yeah, February 6th. I'm gonna put it on
Right.
my calendar. But God damn it, I am hammered. What was I gonna say?
We are great.
Yeah, you were something about how
We're
awesome
fantastic.
we are.
No,
Great.
this
Never
is the thing I
change.
love about all things comedy.
Truly.
I'm being serious when I say that. Is when Al and Bill started this and asked us to all come aboard and I didn't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
And I think we can all still say that no one really has a value to it. Like there's no technical value to all things comedy. But
Right.
the cool thing is like that we do that meeting.
This and the things we're about to do, it's going to be fucking cool.
I like what we're gonna do. I like where we're going with this. And I think, and I'll say this real quick. I'm not sure who everyone's a part of this, but there's an app called Laughable. If you guys don't use it, use it. You don't know about it. It's so great. What it does is you get the app and then you type in the person you like, and then it shows you all the shows they've ever been on.
Oh wow.
And so, like, I'm a big Rory Scovel fan.
Love Rory.
Oh yeah,
Like, to the point where I say he might be the best comic working right now.
He's fucking
with Bill.
great.
Like, that kind of guy, just different. And everything he does is fucking amazing. And if you type in Rory Scovel on Laughable, you find out all the shit he's been on, and you go, holy, like,
Right.
how great is that?
Right.
That's how I found out I did 20 Rogans, is I was like, oh shit.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
really?
So check out the Laughable app for you guys, but more importantly, like, I would say anything you guys have ever been on independently, together, dude, I'll be fucking hardcore going through that this week. You guys are
thanks,
so
man.
fucking funny, man.
Thanks.
I thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us, man.
Yes, truly.
I love you guys.
I love you, Bert. I'm gonna
boy.
blow you now.
Oh Jesus!
Tell Brett.
Another 4 hours?
Amazing.
I swear to you on my children, I could do another fucking 4 hours
I could.
for you guys right now.
that was so fucking easy, man. That was just smooth.
That was
so great, man.
I'm not. I swear to you on my children, the best podcast I've ever done.
Shut up.
I'm not
Dude,
fucking around.